Hey, welcome back to the My Take on Reality call-in show. For those who are wondering, yes, this will be an audio only live, unless of course the callers show decide to put their cameras on and show their faces. For my part, I'm still putting things back together. For those who didn't know, I was a little under the weather. And by a little, I mean I was a lot under the weather. I'm not going to pull a Cody Brown. Died on the floor and it was a shame. I'm not doing all that. I'm just saying that brother man was going through it. Hopefully I'm on the mend. I feel a little better, feel good, feel strong, feel like talking my stuff tonight. Uh, just I was in the process of trying to figure out how I could post some potential topics that we could talk about with the call-in folks, people who decide to call into the show. As expressed before, I don't know if you guys are aware, I talked about expanding the show past Sister Wives. Well, we have been talking about this even before the season had ended. Kind of, did not go out with a bang or even a whimper. It kind of went out you know, like silent breaking wind. Like this last episode, this last season, in my opinion, was utter garbage. So in light of that, the fact that I feel like the TLC production team, as well as the participants, including the cast members, are no longer willing or able to produce a proper show, I'm not going to focus a majority of my time on dealing with or trying to construct interesting topics around people who aren't even interested in making their own show successful. So that's kind of where I am. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, or some of the things that I wanted to talk about, or at least pose to the group, uh, just in general, if we're going to talk about Sister Wives, I want to talk about not necessarily the evils of Robin and Cody and how bad they were for the family and how the OG3 are like uh, uh, viewed as sympathetic characters. What I want to talk about is something broader as far as Sister Wives is concerned. What has the show taught us? Like, have eyes been opened? Has this given us any information? Has it opened the doors for us to be able to have comprehensive discussions about what is going on in polygamy in this lifestyle? Or has it been just basically regulated and regimented to a smaller understanding of what polygamy is, and thereby making it easier for us to kind of see it, talk about it, but never really get into trying to fix, repair, or at least in-depth study the situation. And I say this specifically, and I want to hear what you guys have to say, because I say this specifically because one of the easier things to do is for you to have a terrible event happen. You come up with a boogeyman, right? So you have this terrible thing happen. You come up with a boogeyman, and then you limit the evil that boogeyman does to just that target boogeyman. Instead of talking about how this is not just a phenomenon that occurs with one person or one group, you talk about it like, oh, this is just a one-off situation. Polygamy, yeah, is bad, it's evil, but if let's be honest, and this is part of the brainwash part that I guess we can get into during the call-ins, when I ask, what has the Sister Wives show taught us? When you really think about it, if Cody and Robin and even Janelle, Mary, Christine, if their relationships are the epitome of what being in a polygamous relationship is like, how many times have we heard, yeah, but this all could happen in a monogamous relationship, thereby lessening the pain? How many times have we heard, yeah, I see what those OG3 went through, but I would never allow that to happen to myself, thereby lessening the trauma, the attitudes, the mindset, and the effects of said evil. You understand what I mean? So you have a situation where if it's just limited, like if this is all polygamy is, it could be easily squashed if you just take common sense, what most of us would refer to as common sense measures. You don't let your husband take all your money and invest it into properties that don't have your name on it. You don't allow a man to come and kick his feet up under your bed, put his name on your house, and dictate what goes on behind your closed doors. And he's not putting nickel one into any of your bills, and he's not helping you to take care of your kids. It's that simple. Bump, bump, just solve polygamy. And my question is, what has the show Sister Wives actually taught us? And even though many of us are on, ride or die for the OG3, have they taught us anything beyond they went through this horrible experience? They benefited from it financially. And now they're just merely talking about the experiences they've had, but they're not talking about how to correct it. And we can get into it later, but what steps could they take to contribute or further the conversation? So the first topic was what has this show Sister Wives taught us? The second topic that I wanted to open the floor for was the new direction of my take on reality. Like I said, I'm kind of at my I won't say wits end. Like it's just because it always was kind of going to go this way, but it's just at a point now where, as I look at it, I feel like I'm defending the indefensible. I feel like I'm trying to save people who don't want to be saved. I feel like the every excuse I make, every argument I proffer, every time I discuss Sister Wives, they go back. Like I say something about Cody and Robin, and I have one, if not all of the OG3 come back and not only come back and try to say that I got it all wrong, or YouTubers, fans, audience members have the opinion all wrong. But Cody and Robin are great people, and we have to accept it. And then we don't understand what we're talking about. So again, it puts me in a situation where I feel like I'm trying to save people who don't want to be saved. And to be honest with you, I think they don't want to be saved because at the end of the day, like I said, all of them have benefited and profited from the situation. Now, clearly, Cody and Robin have benefited and profited more because they've been in a situation where they were basically taking a good chunk or portion of the OG3's money or income and using it for themselves. But at the end of the day, none of these people are doing bad financially. None of them are doing bad financially. And if you want to challenge that point, how many of us have just had a house built on 153 acres? How many of us have bought several rental properties in hot areas around Arizona? How many of us have put down and bought a $2.1 million home? How many of us have taken and purchased a home and then renovated that home? And it's not even like I'm renovating a home to live in it. I'm renting a business space. That's what Mary's doing. So before we sit here and feel, like we have to gather and circle the wagons to protect these individuals who've been taken advantage of, we got to recognize that everybody in this situation has benefited because of reality TV and their time on the show. So as a result, I wanted to talk about some different things because at least on this channel, when I'm going back to the first thing, what has the Sister Wives show taught us? I think that our conversations can go beyond just, oh, Cody bad, Robin bad, they treat OG3 bad, treat OG13 bad, and we leave it there. I think there's a lot of things, a lot of places we can explore, a lot of conversations we can have. So if you guys want to give input or, even if it's criticism, like James, you need to stick to the OG3 because that's what, that's where your bread is buttered, mother. Then it is what it is. The third thing that I propose, speaking of which, and expanding the scope of conversation, is the story of Mitzi Roberts. This is a former LA, Louisiana mayor who was convicted of inappropriate contact. We'll say it that way because James not trying to get, as I move to a different direction, I'm not trying to get YouTube banned or put in YouTube jail. So she was convicted of having inappropriate contact with her son's friend. And this was done at a pool party in which she purchased and supplied adult beverages for not only her son and her daughter, but for their friends. They had a pool party. Then she's walking around with a little slinky dink on, slide up and down these boys, these young men, 16, 17 years old. She takes her son's friend into the house upstairs to do some things where the son, as well as several party guests and her daughter, were able to observe her with him. And we could discuss like the whole thing. And I want to tie that into like a bigger concern I have with regard to how we take in information and how we discuss it. All right. So those are the three topics I have. What has the show Sister Wives taught us? New direction of my take, and the story of Mitzi Roberts, the Louisiana mayor convicted of inappropriate contact with her son's friend. All right. So, yeah. Yeah. So, I'm going to post the link. We can get this bad boy started. All right. And just so you guys know, let's be mindful of the time. You don't have to talk about all the subjects if you don't want to. But let's just be mindful of the time, because I'm going to try to cut the show off at about 2 hours. I got to start trying to limit some of my my live time so that the shows are actually watchable for people who do the rewatch crew. Even I'll say rewatchable and or clickable, because sometimes even I might like somebody and be like, damn, 3 hours. I don't know if I want to listen to even get into that. But if we have good information, I want to try to get as much of that information as I can. How old are these kids that the lady provided alcohol for? The jam. They were 16, 17 years old. So they were underage. She's 43, and she has a brother who is actually convicted of the same thing with a 13-year-old. So both her and her brother are both now registered. But coming to the stage, we got Linda. What's going on, Linda? How you doing?
Hey, darling, I'm good, and you? I'm getting my call in first because I got my class at 7.
Okay.
So before I touch the two topics, I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm saying this with love because I appreciate you. The next time you get sick, you need to post a daggone post in the Facebook page and say you're on vacation or you're taking time off, because you have my fat ass worried, okay? And that's not a nice thing.
Yeah, I apologize for that. I will say this. While I was sick, I was not able to get to a computer at all.
Well, you could have sent somebody to put something on the dang Facebook page, but I'm glad you're good. Whatever it is, may you recover. And I'm sure you got good, whatever it is, just make sure you follow through with everything you have to follow through, because we're still getting updates and alerts at my hospital about all these, RSVs, mutations or whatever. But whatever it is, may God bless you, protect you, and you do well. And, don't be a typical man, and pay attention to your doctors and pay attention to your health. Okay, rant over. As I get in all your business like you don't have family, but you have me worried. So
okay. I appreciate that.
I'll let it go. All right. So this last thing with this woman, I didn't read about it. I don't know what rock I've been under, but Lord have mercy. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of, sexual assaults, because that's what it is, having sexual relations with minors, and a lot of sex trafficking. This is not just the Epstein files. It seems to be like the lid has been pulled back. Mm-hmm. And these cases are just mounting and mounting. And I just wish I was like maybe 30 years younger and gone into law enforcement like I dreamed of, and I would be hunting these monsters. Talking about that it's going to be a trigger for a lot of our members. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I think as we talk about it, because I think we have a very, very strong community, put words into action. So we start writing to our politicians, looking to change laws, make them stronger, because the laws vary by state, and I think some of them just get a slap on the wrist, and they don't get to do jail time and let the inmates handle it. But that's something to keep in mind. Like, if we are gonna really discuss sensitive issues like this, and it's something where we could take action as a group, we really should.
No, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, let's just not talk to talk. Let's just try to we gotta we gotta move. We just gotta move. We gotta do something. You know, if you're not gonna be part of the solution, don't be part of the problem.
Right.
As far as sister wives, I was ready to let them heifers go, and then they pulled me back in. And what pulled me back in was the quick interview notes to self did with Mary. She got upset with me because I did post it to our page, and I'm like, it was a whole lot of nothing, but it wasn't shade on her. It was Mary not talking. But you know, people are gonna get sensitive. Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but you're gonna be in the public like this.
Mel got mad at you, or Mary got mad at you?
Mel got mad because she wrote on the thing. She goes, "Thank you for the thing, but that was rude." Sister don't know rude because no one ever really heard me rude, but okay. All I said, it was a whole lot of nothing, which was Mary not saying anything. It was no shade on her. You know, they are developing their interview skills. They are getting better. They're, you know, diving deep in whatever it may be. And, you know, they're just my resource, but you know, sorry she got her feelings hurt, but you're going to be in the public like that. Develop a little thicker skin, sweetheart. But I digress. The reason I said it because they actually answered my question first, you know, when you wrote it in, because it caught me by surprise. And and her husband asked, you know, is there going to be a season 21 of Sister Wives, or is it going to be beyond? Oh, I can't answer that. Why you want if you can't answer questions on Sister Wives? Because that's what people are going to ask you. And then she, again, like we all know, she spoke about Janelle and the marriage and everything. And I'm just watching this. I'm like, you want to bring up stuff that we found out because we didn't really know the whole skinny, like until stuff started coming out. You're going to bring it out after you're on the show for 15 years, right? But she didn't really, I don't know if you got a chance to see it. When I tell you it was like a whole lot of word salad, nothing, it was nothing. And then, you know, you know, we all handle things differently. Like I would have had questions ready, even this was on the fly. But, you know, Mel was like, well, you know, trying to be, I guess, respectful with the kid gloves or whatever. I don't know why. If you're going to interview someone and you know it's a hot topic, you know, people want to know, have some questions and don't be afraid to push a little bit. You could be respectful. You could push nice because you don't know what state Mary is in at that moment, right?
Right.
So, like, there's a way to do things. You don't have to come out like Godzilla, but then you don't have to come out like, you know, the Velveteen Rabbit. If you're going to discuss things that are, you know, the topic now, what people are talking about, it has people in their feelings for total freaking strangers. Get to the truth. You know, my thing is just get to the truth. And as we're saying that, you know, and just not to bogart the time, like I just pulled back and I watched it. I'm like, what I learned from polygamy is that it is still an abomination. It still is evil. You really can't compare it so much to monogamy because in monogamy, it's maybe one spouse, whether it's the husband or the wife that are getting abused or are having issues. But in polygamy, we're talking about maybe underage girls. We're talking about multiple girls. And in the case of Sister Wives, it was really 3 women that were being abused, and and the thing is that they didn't even know it because of how their upbringing conditioned them. Now, I say they didn't know it at that time, but when Mary had said to Mel, I was starting to deconstruct before the show came on, I mentally lost my shit. I'm like, you all came as liars. You just you know, everything was falling apart and they realized no one had a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. So they took this as a money grab. So this was an absolute money grab, and it was okay to demonstrate that financial abuse was okay, child abuse was okay, because these children were abused in the fact that they did not have adequate medical care. They were parentified. There was no supervision. They are very lucky that a tragedy did not occur, because they were ripe for it. So, you know, in terms of Sister Wives, they all suck. First of all, as Janelle said, oh, I love polygamy. I love the freedom it gives me. You know, I love doing things by myself. Who the hell gets married to be independent?
Yeah, right.
I mean, like, what was your reaction when you heard that from Janelle and what you heard from Mary? Like, I need to know that I'm not like overreacting over people that I don't even freaking know.
No, well, because here's the thing. I agree with like I think that your the last statement was very poignant. Like, who gets married so that they could be single? Essentially, is what Janelle described it as. But even beyond that, it turns like I understand the desire to do well financially. I understand the desire to shore your family up and be able to take care of everybody. But at the same time, I think that there is a bigger responsibility because this wasn't just you doing this thing in this show so you can make money, but you were affecting people's lives and their perspective of how they view these types of relationships. You understand
Exactly.
what I mean? Because you have a situation like when it comes down to it, I think that there is a bigger responsibility that all of them shoulder with regard to sister wives because you put out that this is not only a possible alternative to traditional life and lifestyles or whatever, but you said that this is a preferred life and lifestyle that you guys had no intention of living, that you had already started pulling away from, that you had put out and tried and sold to the American public and I guess global public as a wonderful thing that should be is above. It's not even the same as it's above traditional relationships.
Bingo.
You know.
Thank you. And just to close, and the fact now that they know that this is over, that they know that the jig is up, because what this last season was them. This is just my idea on it, like just from a marketing standpoint. I'll put my old marketing degree to to the test here. So they all know that we already started digging. Everyone got the gist of it. So what they're doing now is damage control. And I think this last season was damage control, where they were saying, yes, you're right, but here's a little bit of an example, but here's the why. And this is what they were doing. And to give them another chance. This is what I think what season 21 is coming as, to give us a chance to redeem ourselves. You don't need to redeem anything because you already showed me who you are. And the fact that they still want to have jobs where they are going to grift the public is enough. I'm not going to strive with Janelle because Janelle is not a good person. I'm not even going to go into it. I can't worthy up with Mary because Mary can't worthy up for herself. Because, sister, if it took you 15 years and you're still deconstructing, then a goddamn thing you could show me. I'm not going to cruise with Christine. If I want to go on a cruise, which would be a miracle because that is like my biggest fear. I love the ocean, but I'm not going to be floating over it for 10 to 15 days. I'm going to go with my family or I'm going to go with friends. I have nothing to say to you.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody and Robin, I guess they're going to keep living off their house until they're in poverty. And he's going to do another reality show, which I'm not going to be bothered with. So just to wrap it up, what they taught us is that polygamy is not good. Polygamy is abusive. It will always be abusive. And it's just taking advantage of women and just bringing us back as a civilization, so to speak, because there are no laws. The law is really not going after them. They go after them after the fact, after, an underage child has been abused. So it taught me that these reality shows, take them with a super duper grain of salt. Like, I don't care how nice they put it. I don't care how good they do it. The truth always comes up. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. All right. Well, thank you very much for calling in, Linda. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, darling.
All right. Next time I get sick, I'll try to let you know.
Let somebody know, Dagnabbit. You just have somebody post on the Facebook page, anyone in your family. James is on vacation, and then we leave you alone. You probably got a message from me on LinkedIn, so I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah, no.
All right.
But thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.
Right. Bye. Awesomeness. So we had Glenda dropping with some hotness. Yes, I get like just in fairness, I understand where Mel and Corey, they're working hard trying to make their channel successful. This is not easy, this is not an easy thing because even as you grow and you shift, like as I move away from Sister Wives, or Sister Wives is starting to sputter, like people have decided to disconnect from it. So it's not difficult for you to take that personally. I try not to, because at the end of the day, the Sister Wives in and of itself can be trying, because there's so much that happens during the course of the show that makes you frustrated, angry. uh it just doesn't seem right, it doesn't sit well, only for you to be told by the participants of the show that your anger is unfounded, that you are being unreasonable when you get pissed off. And essentially, even though you are defending them and the things that they have going on, you technically should mind your own business. Is basically what they're saying. As we profit from having a TV show, y'all should mind your own business. So I think that was pretty much that. But let's keep it moving. Uh, okay. Allison Gaines, what's going on? Yeah, look, before we got two folks just hopped into Popular Cats, hopped into the trap. Before we get into it, I'll just refresh some of the topics that I posted, or I wanted to post, but my computers weren't cooperating, so I'll have to kind of read through them again. One of the topics that I posted for the discussion today, and you don't have to necessarily stick to it, but the first was, what has the show Sister Wives taught us? Like, what have we gotten from this show? Like, beyond the fact that, the Brown family dynamic was a complete mess and was a complete train wreck. What have we gotten from the show? What information have we been able to pull from it? Did we look at this show and see uh, polygamy as, has it changed our minds? Or is it one of those situations? And I'm hesitant to use this example, but I think is best applied. One of the things that, if you want to diminish the effects of a thing, what you do is, instead of you looking at the issue or problem, or uh the bigger topic in whole, what you do is you try to limit it to one small group, one small person, one small issue. Then you put everything onto that one small thing. And everything that you want to do or criticize has to fit into that image. So, for instance, with polygamy, if I'm talking about polygamy, you notice that when we talk about the Brown family, we talk about Sister Wives. What we don't talk about is child brides. What we don't talk about is people marrying their cousins. With the closest thing we had to that was Janelle marrying a woman or a man that was married to her brother's brother-in-law's, her ex-husband's brother. Like, that's the closest thing we had to any real family, hanky panky. But when you look at it, like the family charts, I think Cody, Christine are related. I think I think a lot of them are related, like maybe third, fourth, fifth cousins. So they don't get into a lot of those issues, and they're not talked about. So my bigger question is that, because we don't really talk about it, we don't focus on it. When we talk about Sister Wives, we talk about polygamy. It does, in my opinion, it does, to a degree, it does a disservice to the bigger conversation, because it normalizes and, in essence, makes some of these conversations very limited in scope. And so we don't really address it. All right. All right. The one thing I will say about Mel and Corey, they are trying to be a little more expansive, talking to different people from different sects, like the LeBaron group, and talking to people who went through some things and then their personal experience. I think they're trying to expand more on it. But the show itself is not. The show itself is not. But I want to hear what you guys have to say with what has the show Sister Wives taught us. And it's also a little, kind of what Linda kind of went right into what I was thinking about. As the show is starting to close down, I've seen like infomercials from McKelty. I've seen like these little type infomercials and invitations to join self-help groups from Christine, Mary, and Janelle. So, is that what the show has taught us? And are these people genuinely concerned with the audience members and people that they've dealt with, people that may look up to them? The second topic would be the new take of my take on reality, moving past Sister Wives or whatever. What you guys think about that and how I want to cover things. The third is the story of Missy Roberts, the Louisiana mayor convicted of inappropriate relations with her son's 16-year-old, or I think at the time he was 16, but 16-year-old friend, and how that affected the thing. Now, the reason why I picked that story first is because, like I was saying about polygamy as a whole, when our news and information has been cycled through into large corporations, and I don't want to make this too political because it'll get too crazy. But when it gets cycled into a corporate format, the corporation is no longer interested in local news and things that are happening on the ground. What they tend to do is they try to break it down into things that people are more passionate about or more knowledge about. Then they shape the argument, kind of what I was saying with Sister Wives, what is it taught us. And when I say they shape the argument, when we talk about inappropriate relationships with minors, everything gets centralized into the Epstein files. But when rubber meets the road, those activities were happening long before Jeffrey Epstein was in play. Those activities have been continuing since that man passed away. Like he's gone. His partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, is in jail. And are we to believe that all of a sudden, all these people who are involved with all this criminal shit, all of a sudden they decided that, oh, well, since the tap is closed, a cutoff, we're going to stop it. And what part of the reason why I picked this story is because I think that it's an example of powerful people doing horrible things. And yet there's a real possibility, because I didn't hear about it until last week or earlier this week. And the fact that I did, like, this is a big ass story. This is a huge story. A mayor was messing around with young folk. What is going on? There was a time, because I'm old, there was a time where this would have been on a front page of every newspaper from the East Coast to the West Coast. But now we don't even talk about none of this stuff. So that's part of the reason I'm really considering just a new direction on my take. In addition to doing like the relationship analysis, maybe commentary on work and employment observations, I wanted to maybe once or twice a week drop small stories that I think should be given a lot more attention that we just don't receive, right? And I'm not going to say, for whatever reason, we don't hear about this stuff. And I think that a lot of it needs to be talked about. But coming to the stage, we have Megatron. Megatron, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, my take. Hey, James. Hi, everybody.
What's happening? How's life treating you?
And everything is everything, one day at a time.
Yeah, I heard that.
My trainer whooped my hind part in the... Huh?
I say any more than that, I couldn't take it.
Listen, I'm telling you, I said my trainer whooped my behind today, so I had to limp on home and I'm still laid across the bed. I ain't even hit the shower yet. I'm too weak. So I'm using the excuse not to do nothing right now. I'm not adulting. I'm just chilling.
Oh, there you go.
But so okay. Listening to the three topics. So the Mindy lady, I didn't know nothing about that. I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
I kind of been tunnel vision, so I don't know. But I'm gonna look it up. I made a note to look that up. So yeah, definitely come back to that one, James.
Yes,
I forgot what was the other one.
For those who may have missed the name of the former Louisiana mayor is Misty Roberts. She's actually the first mayor, first woman mayor elected in that small town. And
wow.
Shit the bed on this whole thing. Yeah, so it's terrible. It's bad on so many different levels. It's insane.
Right. And I had no idea until you brought it up. I was like, who is that? So I did a quick scan. I was like, oh, okay, I got her. So I made a note to kind of get more info on that. But definitely we got to come back and touch that one. And what I've learned from Sister Wives, honestly, is it's just entertainment. Not to take it personally, not to take it too serious. Because there's a lot of shit happening in the world that's real people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why am I allowing these people that I technically don't know to even rile me up to the point where I'm having a bad day at work, or I can't go to the gym because I'm just that mad, and it's like they're impacting my life in a negative way. And by me watching this crap, I'm basically impacting their life because they're getting paid. So entertainment is entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And I look at it like this: listening to, it's almost like TLC has stepped in and had a group meeting or individual meeting with each of the Brown families. Say, look, y'all, this ship is taking on massive tons of water. We have to, because have you guys ever known this whole family as a whole to do this many interviews with this many podcasters?
Right.
I've never seen it. So it's almost like TLC is not forcing them, but strongly suggesting over and over that they get out, because it's like every week they're on a different show. And I'm like, except for certain shows. The shows that they won't do are the shows that they know the host is going to ask the questions they don't want to answer. So they're doing the little fluffy hee hee ha ha shows versus the what the fuck is really going on. What are you doing? You know what I mean? They're not doing those. They're doing the other ones, where people are going to ass around with them, basically.
Right.
But it's all of them. All of them are doing it. It's like if McKelty do this show this week, and then within a month's time, Christine has done it, Janelle has done it, Mary has done it. So I don't know. I was like, maybe, TLC kind of stepped in and is making them. That's a condition of getting another season. It's almost like it's a condition of getting another season, doing all of these podcasts. Because I've never seen them do this many before. Not even when Christine released her book, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, not even for their own MLM.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I was just wondering, TLC might have stuck. I mean, at the end of the day, it's entertainment.
Right.
They are being paid to entertain, whether it's the truth, whether it's a lie, fabricated or what. So that's what I just learned from these people. And also not to give them none of my money. Like, I'm just not investing in nothing that they do. If I can't do it for free, then I won't be doing it.
Nah, I hear you. Well, because I'll even say this, because I had noticed that as well, the increased opportunities they had as far as going on podcasts. My first initial thought is this. I noticed that they have gone on podcasts, and this is no disrespect to the people whose podcasts they've gone on. But what I've also noticed is that you've had people who have covered them for years, and they don't get a call to talk about them or talk to them. Now, I understand. Let's not get it twisted. I'm not suggesting that they come on my show, because I know that they know not, that
they're not going to do it, James, because you're going to ask the questions.
I'm not in the running. I get that. And I'm fine. To be honest with you, I'm fine with it, because I'll go on the record right now. Part of me is not even really interested in talking to him, for the simple fact that I don't want to do a fluff piece. I don't want to do it where I got to sit there and kiss your ass for 35, 45 minutes and talk about how awesome you are, how amazing you are, and how much of a driver you are, without actually covering any real topics, issues, or questions that the fans actually might have. So I get it. But I mean, folks like Sarah from Reality, like, why wouldn't you go on her show?
Right.
Toss her, bro.
Didn't she say somebody blocked her one time?
Yeah, Jen. She said Jen blocked her.
That's why she ain't going up there.
Because Jen ain't.
That's why they not go.
Yeah, Sarah ain't coming for your neck. So I don't know why you go on her damn show. But people have popped up like within the last year, and they've been on their show.
And you're on that shit. Right. Okay. That's the trend I was looking at. And I'm like, okay, but I don't see their videos going back to about a year, maybe two. And you're doing an interview. And like I said, McKelty will be on it this week. Christine's on it the following week. Janelle's on it the following week. Mary and Jen's on it the following. And it's like, okay, but you have this person who's been covering for 15 years and not a peep.
Mhm.
Why is that? This is TLC, and because they watching. Hey, y'all, this is the show. They done gave them a list. Don't go on this show. Don't go on this show. Don't go on this show. But you can go on this one. It's like pre-approved. These are the ones you can do.
Right.
Y'all got to get back in touch with the fan base because they are checking out in alarming numbers. So I mean, again, it's entertainment. I get it. But you won't be getting my money and you won't be getting my time because I'll watch the highlights. Yeah, I'll let you tell me about it, James. But I'm done with these people.
Yeah, well, I mean, quiet as it's kept. I'm breaking news. Like I was looking at my you know what I mean? Like as I was a little under the weather, I was looking at my expenditures as far as like services and shit.
Getting rid of the dead weight.
I had to let that shit go. I was
getting rid of the dead weight. I'm telling you, like, serious. We are in an economy. We are in a crisis. Let's just keep it 100. I'm a single mom. I'm a one-income home. I am not going to sacrifice anything in my house just to keep the subscription to watch y'all sit up here. You have told the world everything we watched was a freaking lie. Oh, I was going to leave before the show. Christine said the same thing. So basically, all these seasons were lies, basically, is what you're telling me.
Right.
Oh, yeah, no, what you saw, that wasn't the real deal. But I don't understand. You're telling me that it was a lie. I watched and figured it out that it was a lie. And you're mad because I'm calling it a lie.
Right. Right.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, James. Y'all can have that subscription. Correction, we share. But he called me. He said, I gotta get rid of it. He said, because I don't watch it. And the only person that watches it really is you. So, yeah, we cut it. I'm done with it anyway. So just cut it. Yeah. So like you were saying, James, it's not just you. Everybody across the board. Like my brother called. He's cutting back on a lot of the subscriptions. I'm like, we're collectively, we're all doing it. And so like, no, I'm not. I can take that $20 a month and, that could be a pack of meat that I could buy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can buy a necessity with that instead of sacrificing. So, no thanks.
Yeah,
but that's it.
And then at the end of the day, sacrifice them for what? Like, I can watch y'all sit around
more lies
from like 10 years ago. Like, what are we doing?
You know what I mean? Like it's not even juicy. Like I can see if it's like we all know like the housewives, we know those storylines are made up and stuff, but it's entertainment. We get a good giggle, a good laugh, we get a good meme, a good soundbite, and it's kind of almost worth it. But y'all aren't even giving us worthwhile material. It's recycled,
right?
Because if I hear the word Coyote Pass, catfish, and safe one more time, I'm probably gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah, lose my damn mind.
But I'm definitely down with the covering like real time stories. Like they just had, I've been watching CNN with the guy threw the bomb. Like I'm still trying to figure out what that was all about. Right. But yeah, I'm definitely with that, James. I will much rather deal with stuff that's gonna impact me versus that rubbish, as Christine would call it.
Right. They don't even care about. Like that's another thing that kind of broke me too. Like y'all don't even give a shit about this. Like I'll sit up here and argue with this stuff left and right and stand on the soapbox all damn day, talk about how this man did wrong, and y'all like, no, he a good guy. Like what the?
He's a good dad. Like, and it's like, wait, so I'm out here doing all this arguing for you, and you ain't even mad? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I said, you trying to save somebody who don't want to be saved.
J. Cole said, don't save her.
She don't want to be saved.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm at with it, and it's like, at this point, Sister Wives are not even entertainment. It's just filling up a time slot for TLC.
Right.
It's not even entertaining anymore. This is sad. It's depressing.
Yeah, yeah. And
Like
then,
it's a
you said,
mood alterer.
I think it's at a point now where people watch it not because we're interested in what's going to happen and what's going on. You watch it because you're used to watching it, and it's just something you used to
Yeah,
do on Sunday. Because
right,
if you disagree with what I'm saying, I challenge you to call into the show and tell me what it is you're excited about next season.
right.
Because if you are like, if the show is like that, they don't run a show where they don't have a cliffhanger or next season we're going to see such and such and such and such, because you always know what's about to happen, what's about to drop. We don't have any of that. That's also part of the reason why I think they're so busy trying to roll out to different podcasts and stay in touch with
Yes,
fans, because they're trying to distract away from the fact that they don't have shit to talk about.
they don't have nothing to talk about. And all next season, you know what we're gonna see if there is a next season. The only thing's gonna be up there is them doing these damn podcasts that we've already fucking watched. Lord forgive me, that we've already watched.
Right.
That's all it's gonna be. Them preparing for the podcast, a couple of clips from the podcast, and then their reaction to the podcast. That's all it's gonna be. What else do they have?
Well, that and the tease that, guys, we're about to get the family all back together again. And to me, I think that would be the largest slap in the face to the fans for them to try to force them back together.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've
Yep.
spent all this time watching these people theoretically get mistreated the entire time. Now we'll try to rush them back to put them in the same damn room. For
And
what?
it's not authentic. It's not authentic. Because you couldn't even mention the children name to them this last season. Now all of a sudden y'all kumbaya. Man, you know what? I don't got time. James, I don't have time. I'm not doing it.
Right. You just put me in a cousin mood. Like, that's all.
Like, and I listen, and I said I'm gonna stop cursing. I said I'm gonna ease up a lot.
How's that going?
You know what? It was going fine until I started talking about sister wife. I ain't said a curse word in 2 days. I haven't said a curse word in 2 days. Now I'm talking about sister wife and done drop about 10 in 30 minutes. See what I'm talking about? This is why this show's bad for your health.
Right?
It's bad for your health. It's unhealthy.
I heard
I'm suing them. I'm suing them. All these all these PCP visits and copays. Yeah, I need to recoup some of that.
I need some get back.
You know, what Robert said, she's going legal. I'm finna go legal. I'm finna call my attorney because y'all are not safe. They the ones ain't safe.
Yeah. How you feel like?
But that's it. Yeah, that's all I got. I know you probably got people calling and worried about you folks. Glad to hear your voice and glad to be back. But yeah, I mean, it's entertainment, James. That's it. People, don't take it too serious. Keep our blood pressures down. Keep our PCP visits to a minimum.
Yeah, definitely don't go to jail trying to confront these fools.
You know what? And that is the number one. It's like, you know what? Why are y'all sitting here yelling at these people on behalf of women that don't give a damn? So let's just let the sleeping dogs lie, as my grandmama would say. Let that sleeping dog lie, baby, and move on. I think it's a high time that we all do that. So yeah. I'm definitely down for the videos about current events or what have you. Definitely down for that, and how we can keep the cost of living down. Because I don't know about y'all, but single mom, I'm struggling over here. I'm telling, we cutting corners now. I heard Miss Linda talk about cruising. Girl, I got 2.5 weeks before I'm on my cruise headed to Aruba.
Okay.
We're going to the ABC Islands for spring break.
Nice.
And when I tell you I'm gonna show my behind, I'm gonna show my behind. And Linda, I'm gonna throw a couple drinks back for you, sis.
There you go.
And my take, I got y'all's name on the glass. I got y'all too. I got you.
There you go. Well, I tell you what, just make sure when you do it that you do it old school fashion. And what I mean by that is, back in the day, unlike these young whippersnappers, we didn't tape shit. There was no video evidence of us doing anything. We go on vacation.
You understand?
We gone. And when we get back, The people who was there can talk about it. Everybody else, it is what it is.
And that's it. But you know, it's so hard. But you know what? I got a mask. I got like a little masquerade mask to hide my face. So even if you catch me on somebody else's video, you're not gonna know who I am. Because I'm with you, James. I'm here on vacation. You don't know me like that. I don't know you like that. Don't be posting me on your news feed.
Right.
Talk about some it's turn up on my business ain't everybody's business. So don't be putting me up there. But I got me a little face mask that I'm gonna keep on while I, turn up a little bit.
There you go.
Because I'm a school teacher. I can't be going viral now.
Right. Well, because
I can't be going viral.
You know what I mean? And the way I see it, at least back in the day, if you do some dirt, we didn't do videos. You got mind movies for that.
Right.
You sit back, close your eyes, and remember. That's it.
Like, that part. They sit there and giggle.
Yeah, let me put it on for everybody to see how good a time I had. Nope, it's good enough for me to know how good a time I had.
You should have been there. If you wanted to see it that bad, your ass should have came. That's what I tell my sister. Well, what happened? Who was there? Your ass should have came if you want to know all that.
Right. It ain't my place.
Don't be asking me no questions. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, I'm gonna show
that must have happened when I left.
I hope they show me. I'm not gonna tell them. I hope they don't tell mine.
James, in theory, that would be nice, but you know how nowadays you'll be viral in a minute.
Yeah.
You could be sitting there minding your business and be a damn meme, just sitting there eating dinner.
Right.
You ain't even doing nothing crazy. You just sitting there eating. It could be the way you eating, and somebody done recorded you secretly and done made you viral.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna sue you if you put me out there. So I might need to wear a disclosure T-shirt. If you record me and make me viral, you will be sued.
Right. I see you in court.
So, see you in court. That's it, James. But I'm gonna let you head on out, and I'm gonna keep listening. But it's good to be back. I feel normal now. I was going a little stir crazy there for about a week. I feel normal now.
So you're winning. You're winning.
Yeah. I'm telling you. But thanks for taking the call. I'm glad you're feeling better. And let's get this thing popping. I'm ready.
All right. Thank you so much, Megatron. I appreciate you calling in.
All right. Good night. Thanks for calling. Taking my call.
No worries. Thanks for calling. How about that? All right, that was Megatron. Before we get going to the next caller, we had Jody Periscala with the $9.99 super chat. Said, no offense, but you spend Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday discussing the show. I've been nagging you for new content. I just followed for the group. So glad that you decided to move on. Yeah, I'm not offended. Like I said, there's a lot of people who tune in to my take for the sister exclusively for the Sister Wives content. So I can't ignore why people are tuning in, but at the same time, I think now it makes more sense, especially based off of the fact that I wasn't feeling well and I had to take a little bit of a hiatus away from the show. It just seems like a natural break point to where I can make a transition. Because people who are usually what I get is the people who are really interested in talking about Sister Wives, they'll come out and they'll watch during the course of the season, and then they'll unsubscribe right after the season is over. And when the season starts back, they come back. And one of the challenges, especially for some of your content creators, and this isn't just my take on reality, but other content creators as well. If you look at their view numbers, they need your support too. Because if you enjoy watching their shows, if you enjoy their content, when they put out additional content that's not Sister Wives content, and I can think of at least several content creators who have tried to make transitions. If you look at their content, they'll put out Sister Wives content, have 30, 40,000 views on Sister Wife content. But then when they put out additional content, whether it's Plathville, other reality shows, or maybe topics or things that they want to talk about, those same videos will only get 1,000 views. Now, what that means is that as viewers who are wanting or desiring a transition away from sister wives, it behooves us to support those content creators as they're trying to move away from sister wives. Because, you know, as much as I enjoy doing the group and talking to everybody, you know, at some point it has to make sense. Like the whole totality of it, with the time and the energy that's placed in putting out videos, putting out content, even doing lives, it has to make some kind of sense to continue doing it. And if I was looking at this strictly as a business, it doesn't make business sense, because I'm crazy. It doesn't make a tremendous amount of business sense for me to even try to move away from sister wives at this point, because a lot of the channel is supplied with sister wives content, because that's what people want to watch. So even with what I'm doing now is contradictory to maybe the health and well-being of my channel. I'm taking a chance doing this. Like, so, you know, my wife say I talk too much, but I just call it what it is. Like this, like me doing this, the way I'm doing it is a chance. Like this could very well, the transition I'm trying to make could very well kill my channel. So when I get folks who want to talk about more things, but I used to do like my Monday motivations. I used to do those. I enjoyed those. But the truth of the matter is I didn't have people watching them. Didn't have people watching them. So, you know, hopefully as I move forward with transitioning away from sister wives, you know, maybe we pique interest or tap into new people or groups that are interested in watching that kind of content, and I can start rolling those back out again. But it just kind of turns into, it is what it is. All right. But thank you so much, Jody. I appreciate you. Let me give you a little something. All right. Then we had Lip Mom with the 1999 Super Sticker. Appreciate you, Lip Mom. Appreciate you. TS in the house. Says, you are amazing. No, you are amazing. You are amazing. Lip Mom, for those who don't know, is the OG triple OG. She's been around for a while, been supporting the channel for a while. Appreciate her holding us down. And, you know, if you check the comments, she'll fire your ass up. So appreciate you, Lip Mom. Let me give you a little something. All right. But next up, we have Caramel Cuties. What's going on, Caramel Cuties? How you doing?
No, I'm barely surviving. We had a rolling blackout for about a good 45 minutes here. Lovely California. You got to love it, right?
Oh, shit.
High gas prices, cost of living, and every now and again, they just going to shut your energy off. So if you don't have satellite, you're just screwed. And it's, you know, mid 70s today. So it's about 85 degrees in my room right now, trying to get it back cooled down. So, yeah. It's been great.
I remember in 2001, there was a company, Enron, that used to run you guys Power Grid. And they used to shut your shit off on purpose.
Yeah, well, I think they're doing something in the area. I'd seen one of the trucks, it's out here, it's Pacific Gas and Electric, so PG&E. And I'd seen one of the trucks towards the end of my block when I went to go pick my son up from school. But, you know, I was like, oh, maybe it's just a house call, little maintenance call. And not even 10 minutes after we got home, I pulled into the garage, came into the room to turn on YouTube, and everything went out. And so I was like, okay, well, I got a little bit of charge on my phone. I can watch it from my phone. That's not a problem. But I can't do my phone and the iPad and or the TV at the same time to see the comments, because once you're locked into StreamYard, I can't go back into the actual live chat. So I was just like, well, I'm a little out for a moment, but it's all good.
Okay, welcome back. Because
I'm back up and running.
Temporarily, right?
I was a little nervous. I got to get my daughter in a little bit, and I'm like, if my car is stuck in the garage, I don't know how I'm gonna get her. But there's like an emergency latch we can hit. It's just pitch black out there. There's no light, so I'm like, I don't know how we're about to do this, but we would have figured it out. Or I would have had to pay for her Uber, one of the two, you know.
Right, right.
It's just parenting in California, on a random Tuesday. This is the joys that we get.
You just gotta keep it interested. That's all.
The story that you mentioned, I'm so bad when it comes to like the news and stuff. I really didn't have a clue what you were talking about. And as I, of course, tried to go look it up, I didn't have internet, so I was a little stuck. But I definitely wrote it down to put a pin in it. But it's a story coming out of like Fresno, California, I think it is, or Visalia, somewhere in like the Mid Valley, where there's a guy running for mayor of the town, I think, and he's a registered offender, like full on, not hiding. And he's eligible to run for mayor of the town. And like they did one of those town hall meetings on the elementary school campus. Like he's registered and he's having a town. The shit is wild. Like this, it's making absolutely no sense to me. The people are voting for him. Like in the town, he's in the polls, he's leading. Like this fool could possibly win.
Wow.
Craziest shit I've ever heard.
One of the things that, and this is part of the reason why I think that it's important to have these kind of conversations, is because I think that, even as I talked about like the first topic with sister wives, when you come out with this thing initially, like an issue or topic, initially it'll shock you. Polygamy, one man, 4 wives, is shocking. But there is a point of normalization by you continuing to have these conversations and people making excuses that these things aren't that bad. And you put it in limited scope where all of a sudden it's, the reason why I'm a registered person is because I was 19 and my girlfriend was 16 and her parents found out. And so she was almost there and we weren't that far apart. So what was the real difference? Blah, blah, blah. And there's a point where we start to normalize it and overlook it, and because like you said, there was a time, let's be very honest. There was a time where if somebody even hinted that you may have had inappropriate contact with a minor at any point in your life, your chances of running for office out of the question. They're looking at running your ass out of town.
That part.
You know what I mean? They're looking to run you out of town. Like we don't even want you living here no more. Like
I could remember I was 16 and took on, a seasonal job at Toys R Us during the holiday time. And it was one of these managers over like in the back. He was in the warehouse. So he never really was like out in the store with actual customers. But somehow it was drama one night, and because I could be a little nosy, sometimes I was in the warehouse on my break, being a little longer than I should have been. And I heard that they were firing him because, of course, he was on out here. It's called Megan's Law, and that's like the registry that it's under when they have to register, right?
Right.
And so he was on he's on the website, and I guess somebody was looking up the website and happened to see their coworker and brought it to Toys R Us's attention, and they were firing him. And he was like, you can't do that. And they were like, well, at the end of the day, it's an at-will state. We can let you go for any reason. But the fact that you're working in a kid's toy store, when you have these, I don't necessarily want to say allegations, because I'm pretty sure at the point you're deemed to register, you've been convicted of something. Right? Something, whether you took a deal, whether you took a plea, or you went to trial, you now have to register and keep active on this list to let everybody know you've had inappropriate actions with some type of minor.
Right.
And I was just like, and this is at 16. I am now 44. And for it to be just so openly acceptable. But then I'm going to flip the coin and go backwards. My grandmother had my mother when she was 14. She married my grandfather, who is not my mother's biological father, at 17, with her mother's permission. He was 22 years her senior. And that was acceptable.
Right.
I wish the hell I would, as a parent, sign away from my 17-year-old to marry somebody 20 years her damn senior. Like, that shit's not normal. But sad to say, you know, my great grandma used to always say her family said she was ruined because she didn't have my grandmother till she was 25. She's one of like 15 kids, and all her siblings, she's dead smack in the middle. All her siblings started having babies at like 12, 13, 14, getting married at like 16, 17 in Louisiana. Like, that was what they did back in the day. And I'm like, I wish the hell I would be at 16. I couldn't imagine being somebody's mother, let alone somebody's wife at that age. And it's acceptable. Like, it's expected.
Right.
And the fact that my husband wasn't another 16-year-old, like, he was a grown-ass man. There's something wrong with that. Or maybe it's just me who thinks that that's psychotic. But I don't know. Like, but to hear of a story flip where, okay, wasn't there a teacher or something? God, what's that woman's name? Didn't she die of like cancer recently? But wasn't she convicted of like essaying her like, wasn't it like 5th or 6th grade? He was a student. She ended up getting pregnant by him and ended up going to jail. God,
Yeah.
what is that woman's name?
Mary Kay Letourneau.
There you go. Yes.
Mary Kay Letourneau. She had her victim was in grade school when she started messing with him. She got pregnant, went to jail. Then when she was released, they
got pregnant again
with him again.
Yep.
Messing around. He was still under 18. Well, this tell you how long her ass. Like, she went to jail, got out, and he was still a child.
Yes, exactly.
And she got pregnant again and had another baby for his ass. Like, they got 2 kids, and this is all before he had 3 kids before he was 18 years old.
Right. That shit just, I don't know. Like, stories like this just, as a parent, burn my hide. Like, don't get me wrong. My son he wasn't even 1 yet, right? Barely had teeth in his mouth. And we were at Denny's, quick little story time. And it was a group of us sitting in a booth. And it was this woman from the East Coast. She was a Puerto Rican woman, very pretty, our waitress, right? But her accent is what drew my attention to her. Because as she talked, I could tell she was from the East Coast. And so I noticed as she's like serving our water and asking us like, what did we want on the menu? She's like swatting by her bottom. And I'm like, what the hell? Is there flies in here? Like, I couldn't figure out like what she was swatting at. And then something told me as I'm looking at my son sitting in the, the infant high chair at the edge of the booth, like right in her direction, he's got the biggest smile on his face, but he's leaning over with a whole handful of ass. He's just rubbing her big bottom up and down like he's groping the hell out of her. And I'm embarrassed to say that because he didn't know what he was doing. He's a baby. But he's just smiling and flirting with her and looking up. And the whole time she's trying to be nice, but she's pushing like his hand away. And in that moment, I said to myself, well, he likes girls and he likes big bottoms. I know my son's going to be an ass man. And that's what I'm thinking in my head. But the whole time I'm like, okay, I grab his hand and then I try to move his high chair and he's trying to get out and climb towards her and he's smiling. But I was laughing to myself because I was like, I might be in trouble. My son might like a thing for older girls. And then I might have to go to jail. Because you know how fathers are quick to say they got their shotguns ready for their daughters? I got to get my shotgun ready for my son. Mm-hmm. And all the men in my family laughed at it. Oh, that's just boys being boys. That's just him. He knows what he wants already. And da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't find none of it cute. Nor did I like it. Like, but how do you discipline a 1-year-old that doesn't necessarily know what he's doing in that moment other than, soft hands? You keep your hands to yourself, like grabbing his hands and moving him away from her, and physically picking him up and moving him, which is what I did. I ended up sitting him in just the seat that sits on the seat instead of the high chair in between me and my daughter in the booth so that he wouldn't keep like grabbing and groping on her while she's trying to do her job. But the whole time I'm sitting here thinking like I may have some problems when he gets older. Because, and fast forward, 16 years, he definitely doesn't look like he's 16. I've had people tell me he looks like he's about 25, 26 with a full on beard. You know what I mean? But No, he's 16 and he's got the mind of a 16-year-old. And I couldn't imagine him coming home and being like, oh, mom, this is my new girlfriend. And it's some grown ass 25, 26-year-old woman.
Right. Well, I mean, because my thing is this, and even as we focus on some of the people that I'll talk about moving forward, it always amazes me because even with Laterno, like if it was, and I'm not a big fan of like gender swap and everything, but if this was a man who was teaching a grade school and he impregnated a 13-year-old, this dude would never see the second child would not exist because his ass never would have got out of prison. He never would have got out of prison. But there is a disparagement between how these issues are viewed when one offender does it versus another offender does it. Because, like you said, even with your relatives, they come back and they hear about this issue with your son and his old boys being boys, and everybody thinks it's cute and funny. But again, when it's the young ladies, nobody really thinks that shit is cute at all. You understand what I mean? Like if you're sitting there with your daughter and she's trying to reach over there and grab my man fishing pole, nobody's like, oh, okay.
Just girls being girls, right? No, it's going to be a problem.
Hell no. Hell no.
Then the fact that why you allowing her to touch on you, right? No.
Yeah.
I think for me, what it is because I grew up in a household where gender roles and gender things were highlighted. And what I mean by that is like, I have an older brother and we're 3 years apart. And so he didn't have a curfew, but I had to be home when the streetlights came on. And I forgot it was a conversation I had with my mom one time. And I was like, well, why doesn't he ever have to come home when the streetlights come on? And she was like, because you're a girl and you can get pregnant. And I'm thinking, well, in sex ed, they told us it takes a penis and a vagina to get pregnant. So I can't get myself pregnant. So therefore, if he has the parts of a penis, he can get a girl pregnant, correct? So it's the same thing. And she was like, well, no, that's her mom's problem. Yeah. Well, sad to say that, fast forward 20 years, it's no longer just the girl's problem when somebody gets pregnant. It's both.
Yeah, well, yes and no. Because it's like, because the one thing that I was always told when I was a young person is that, fair or not, it's mama's baby, papa's maybe.
True.
And I say that from the respect of if you're with a young lady or a woman and she gets pregnant, right? Or a person who can get pregnant. I don't want to get into the whole thing, but a person who can have a child, if they get pregnant, their life from that point forward changes regardless. The person who got them pregnant can walk away and they have to deal with every step of it. They have to deal with the initial choice of whether they're taking a plan B or whether they're going to go down and try to get a procedure done, or if they're going to keep it. They have to deal with the body changes. They have to deal with the birth. One of us, you mess around, you get pregnant. One of us has to be in the hospital and it's not me. I don't know. The baby gonna come whether I'm there or not. You understand what I mean? So from that respect, but especially because of social dynamics and how the family courts work, it's mama's baby, and dad, and a lot of times dad is supplemental. And so from that respect, I think that a lot of the pressure, not rightly so, but I think it's wrong that this happens, but it just is what it is, that women suffer more. So because they suffer more, it's recognized that you have to protect yourself a little more than these boys do. Not saying that the guys are, because I'm with you. I think that if my son came in there and he talking about, dad, I think I got little Susie pregnant. Oh, well, that's her mama's problem. No, the hell it's not.
Right.
No, the hell it's not. Because you have a responsibility now. So all the stuff you were planning to do, little fun shit you planning to do, that gets put on hold because now you got to go out and get yourself a job, because now you have somebody that you have to provide for, because the same way you look up to me and look to me for answers, you now have a person that's going to be looking to you for those same answers. And you need to get out there and figure it out.
True.
So I'm with you on that part. I'm just saying it like.
No, I mean the older generation is of the sort that, you know, it's all on the girl and dad does whatever he does, and if he don't do, then it's still on the girl. And I
Right.
don't believe that to be 100% true.
No, well, I
Especially
think that it shouldn't be true. And I think everybody, including the parents of the boy, should fight to make sure that it's not true.
right.
The
Well,
only
here in California, unfortunately, if my son were to get a young girl pregnant and they come after him for child support and him still being a minor, technically they can come after me for child
Right.
support.
Right.
And that's a problem.
Yeah, yeah. So I gotta say, so you're not out there with yourself.
Right.
It's not your business. Hell, it's not my business because they're gonna be
Right.
suing me. My name won't be on the paperwork.
So if I gotta go to court and pay for another kid and I'm not done paying for your ass,
Right.
we got a
Right.
problem.
Especially, let's keep it all the way a buck. I wasn't in the room smiling and grinning. I didn't
I
have
said
no
all the
fun.
time.
Now all of a sudden I gotta pay the bill. What? Make that
I
shit make sense.
told
Hello?
make him. So I babysit when I can if you need me, but that is not my job to help raise your child.
Right. I was say you the
But
mama.
in a sense of sister wise, well, I tell my family all the time, if I wanted more kids, I know where and how to go get some more. I don't need any more. I don't want any more. I actually have a niece right now that keeps running away that they're trying to ship up here to me. And I was like, nope, ain't no more room at the end. We're full. I can't.
Right.
She's smoking weed. I just heard she's having sex. She got jumped into a gang. She's 15. I'll find you all the resources I can to help from here, but baby, she cannot come to my house. Can't do it. No, ma'am, no, sir, no ham, no turkey. I love from a distance and I love hard, but ain't no way. I'm not taking on those responsibilities.
No, I feel you.
Especially when my own kids aren't that troubled. I'm not seasoned in that situation. So,
Right.
no, can't do it.
Well, too, I
But
think that you also have to recognize that, you know, kind of like a boxer or a fighter, you have your prime. Like you have your time when you could deal with you're open to dealing with a lot of stuff. You had a facility, the patience, and the tools to be able to deal with certain issues. And like the aforementioned, you know, boxer, fighter, whatever, you move past your prime, and it's recognizing your truth. Like I'm not in a position where I think I would be effective as a day-to-day parent like that, because you have to, it's a major commitment, and it's involvement that has to take place. There's a buy-in that has to take place, and if you're not willing to do it, it's not worth you trying to half-ass do it, especially if somebody's already in trouble.
and she's coming from a 2-parent household. This is what ain't making sense. My brother and my sister-in-law, and I'm like, damn, between the two of y'all can't figure this out. They have
Right.
4. She is the oldest, but yet I'm a single parent, and y'all trying to pawn her off on me. Like, I can't. And call me being mean, call it whatever you want. I'll send you resources that your insurance can help with, day programs or live-in facilities. I don't know what else to tell you, but there's no room at the end. I cannot mentally or physically take on that type of commitment in my life today. Because I will be in jail. I will probably put my hands on her because she doesn't fear authority. She ain't scared of nothing. And she wants to do what she wants to do at 15 because she thinks she's grown. And living in my household and you thinking you're grown, that means you paying bills, right? That means you got a job and you're contributing to the household. So no, thank you. I'll keep my nice 2 children that listen and behave and don't act up, and I'll love from a distance. But I just, it's a lot. And yeah, no, I'll pass. I'll
Well, I
not
mean,
pass
too,
go.
like it begs the question also, you know, what do you want me to do? Like what? Yeah, like, because that's the whole thing. Like, okay, well, all right, fine, I'll move up here, but what am I doing exactly? Like, because like you said, if she's not willing to listen to her parents, like who am I? I'm just
Right.
sliding in there as a, you know, not a stranger. Maybe she knows who you are, but she's never lived under my authority. So I don't have
Right.
that background of having authority over her. So it's not, you know, This isn't a movie. One of them after school specials where I just, sit down and have a conversation with her and I fix everything. Like if she's not willing to listen, there's a whole thing. Like, I can't save you from yourself. And
Right.
she's the one making the decision. So I don't know how you want me to address it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. My mom tried to call this morning. I had to, before, I love you dearly. Before this conversation even goes the direction I think it's about to go. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I see why we had no power. Somebody took out a whole light post over here. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I got distracted. It's like 15 police cars and I see the whole lamp the street light down over here.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I had to cut her off at the head and be like, no, I'm not taking her. I cannot. I'm not, like, my health is not conducive to the stress that will bring into my household. I can't do it.
Right.
And she's like, okay, well, I thought I would ask. Nope, no need to even ask. Take that out your mental Rolodex. What phone numbers do you need? Where do you need me to call? What do you need me to ask? I'll do that. But that's as far as it's going. Because no, I'm always the one in the family everybody relies on. And I've learned today my boundaries and I stick to them. Before I used to be the pushover and be like, well, you know what? I have a savior complex. I think I could help save and fix everybody else. I would have taken her. Yeah, no, not today.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had it for a long time too. And there was a point, I guess if you watch any like hero arc, there's always that point that gets made. Like no matter how much you may want to or how much you try, you can't save everybody. And
Right.
I was always the one like, yes, you can, well, I'm gonna try. And the only thing that happens when you do that, and maybe it's just wisdom or I'm just burnt, but the only thing that seemed to happen to me is that you end up making a lot of sacrifices, you miss a lot of things, and you push. Not only are these sacrifices done on your behalf, but like good fortune, bad fortune, you share that with the people around you. So I'm not like, if I brought somebody into my house, my home, I'm not the only one making sacrifices. I'm asking my wife and my kids and my brother and my dad and everybody else who I interact with to also make that sacrifice. So in a way, by me doing it, it becomes selfish on my part because I'm doing it because it's something I feel like I need to do, but everybody else is paying it, kicking into that to pay that bill.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And
Wholeheartedly.
and so by me, because I got to take from one so that I can give to another. And like you said, when push them down the shelf, I've said this before, the craziest part about it to me is that you'll make those sacrifices. And after you get finished making all those sacrifices, all that time, all that energy, money, everything else, they'll turn around and look you in the face and be like, you ain't never did shit for me.
Oh, quickly. Quickly. Or talk about how I ain't shit. Or how, you know how family do. So yeah, I don't even feel bad anymore. Like, I feel bad that she's going through what she's going through. I feel bad that her and her parents can't figure it out and get it together. But I don't feel bad enough to be like, I'm going to reorganize my life, my kid's life, to take this on. No, I'm not.
Right.
And I slept extremely well last night, and I'm going to sleep extremely well again tonight. Just because, I've learned I ain't Jesus Christ. I can't save the world. So, and I'm not even going to try anymore. So, yeah, but when it comes to, not to fast forward, and I know you probably got other people behind me, when it comes to sister wives, I can't even spit out what I wanted to say. My sis pretty much said it all. Megatron hit every point I wanted to say times 10. Only I'm going to add one more word to the list. Safe. What did she say? Catfish. When Mary says, I had a ton of emotions, I don't know why it makes my eye twitch. Like, that word emotions gets on my last freaking nerve. I don't know why I even allow anything that these people do or say to bother the hell out of me, because it is supposed to be entertaining. I want to say that we all fell for the okie doke. We all believed it. A lot of what they said was true until we started seeing for ourselves that it wasn't. I want to say I took a deep dive during, the vid and rewatched from season 1, episode 1, all the way back. And I don't mean like watch it like I might have when the season first aired and it's like background noise, so you're watching but not really watching. I really like dedicated my rewatch to fully paying attention. And the stuff that I noticed the second and third time I watched certain episodes, whole new perspective. Whole new perspective. And I was just like, what I learned is they're all full of shit. They all lied. Ain't nobody safe on that whole registry of, oh, it's only Cody and Robin who are horrible. No, they all lied to some capacity. Because if you were thinking you were losing your religion, you were leaving, you didn't want to be married to Cody, y'all all played a really good game for a really long time, as if this was the lifestyle you genuinely wanted. And not only wanted, you portrayed it like this is how others should want to live too.
Right.
When sadly, you're miserable, you're being taken for aloof, all your money going to this man while him and her are just, you know what I'm saying? Their kids are taken care of. Yours really aren't. So it just, a lot of that hit me. I mean, I am alarmed at the few interviews that I have seen. And again, it is fluff. Nobody's really hitting these hard-hitting questions, which is frustrating because at this point, it's like, just put it all on the table.
Yeah,
how bad can it really hurt you, to be honest?
Right. Well, especially like I said, if you want to take the time out to talk about it, let's talk about it. But at the same time, if you're gonna bitch and complain, and I'm put it where the ghost can get. If you're gonna bitch and complain about how everybody in your business, then come off the show. If you're gonna complain that everybody got it wrong and the observations that they make and the things that they put together are all incorrect, set the record straight. You're on podcasts, you're on doing interviews. Take the time out to set the record straight, especially when you're spending your time trying to chastise people who are putting money in your pocket. Then go ahead and set the record straight. Guys, I appreciate your support. I appreciate your kind word, but you got it wrong. And this is why you got it wrong. Don't just tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, especially when people were saying that your relationship was bullshit from day 1, episode 1, and then you get to season, you told them that they don't know what they're talking about. They need to stop watching the show because they're not picking up on what you're putting down, only to get to season 20 and say, yeah, it's been bullshit the whole time. You understand what I mean?
And then they try to blame editors' cuts. Well, if the editors ain't making you out to be who you really genuinely are supposed to be, why keep coming back?
Right.
If I keep going somewhere or showing up and they're portraying me in a light that I'm not, or they're putting it out there that my reputation is something that it isn't, I'm going to stop going.
Right.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
If y'all doing me dirty, I'm making a choice at that point. Either y'all doing me dirty and I'm going to stop doing the show because I don't like it, or y'all doing me dirty, I don't like it, but I enjoy the money, so I'm choosing to continue to do the show. And if I choose to continue to do it, I don't get the bitch about how they doing me dirty because I'm benefiting from it.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly. As I feel like with your channel, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Wherever you go, I'll go. Hell, you could want to talk about volcanoes and boogers, and I'd probably tune in. I'm just saying, you'd make it sound extremely interesting. So where you roll, I roll. Big dog, I'm right there with you. So where we taking this thing? Like,
that's why I mess with you, Caramel Kitties.
One thing you'll learn, I am extremely loyal until I'm done dirty, and then when I throw up the deuces in the middle finger, it's fuck you for life. Right. But until that point, I'm extremely loyal. And it, like I said, I rocked with you from the gate. Once I seen that, okay, it's not a lot of people of color who watch these different shows. Like, I like a few eclectic shows. And so when I go into YouTube land and I see a few folks of color that are speaking on the shows that I like watching. It sparks my interest in what they're talking about.
Right.
You just kept my interest the longest, if you want me to be honest. And with that, I was like talking to James and hearing how your perspective on things, one, it's a man's perspective on polygamy, which is outrageous because you're not a man from polygamy, if you catch what I'm saying.
Right.
So a lot of points you were hitting, I was like, this fool is in the back of my head the whole time you were live. And so I felt it. And so again, like I said, I'm loyal. Wherever you roll, I'm rolling with you. Let's go. It will be interesting to see what the following season that we have will be. I feel, and if I could be 100% honest, if they would have dragged out this season how they did season 19, they, in a sense of how they had like the look backs where they were all watching parts of the season back and commenting on it. I think if they would have done that, you know what I'm saying? We probably could have got more context to the whole backdoor deal BS and see how Janelle really felt about it, what Robin was saying about certain things. It might have sparked and kept a few more viewers watching the show more than I feel like they ended like they tried to have us end on a cliffhanger, but it was a dud.
Right.
And so now you got everybody wondering if there is another season. What I've said it from day one. What the hell else can they talk about? Half the kids don't want to be on the show. The only thing I can see production pulling out their rear end to bring back the viewership is Cody doing his apology tour with each one of his kids, outside of Robin's kids. But half of them don't want to be filmed. So where would that go? Him talking to Tony and McKelty? Possibly Maddie?
Right. Well, I mean, I'll say this. I think that especially based off of the previous apology tour, Live tour, I don't think it would be interesting TV to watch him go and talk to the kids, because I recognize that he would only be going to talk to those kids because he wants to be on TV and he's doing it for the show. And to be honest with you, that would bother me and it would disgust me more than anything he's done in the past. Because it's bad enough for you to traumatize your kids. It's another thing for you to monetize traumatizing your damn kids. Like, you understand what I mean? Like, there's one level of disgust, and there's a whole nother like sub level to like, how dirty can you possibly be? Like, you're a piece of shit at that point. Like, if you hurt your kids, be like, you know what will be some good ratings if I get on TV. And not only do I not apologize for what I did, but I try to gaslight them into thinking that they did something wrong, which is why I don't contact them or mess with them. And I'm going to try to make money off of it.
You already seen, look how he did with Aspen. Even having the conversation with Robin on camera, talking about Aspen was asking me, Dad, why don't you like me? And we all seen Robin's response, oh, that's confrontation. But the fact that he brought that up on camera, Aspen ain't never did that.
Right. And you know what? And even the fact that Aspen didn't do it on camera, like you said, and he brought it up to put it on camera.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you roll that shit out like, oh yeah, let me tell y'all what Aspen said, since she obviously didn't agree to put this on. So if she didn't agree to have it put on because she didn't want the cameras there, why would you take it upon yourself to tell a story that she doesn't want told?
Right.
And she's sharing that, like, she's sharing something that's that personal, like, because that, like, let's be honest, for you to share something like that, you're opening yourself up. That's a huge vulnerability thing. When you look at your father and say, look, you know, part of the reason why I don't really F with you is because, like, I feel like you don't love me. You know, it takes a lot for a child to be able to be that honest with their kids. And for you to just take that and be like, you know what, be good TV? Me to talk about what Aspen said. That's such disrespect and disregard for her feelings. It's crazy. It's crazy to me.
And then, but saying it in a point on camera as if, one, you really don't give a fuck that she even said it to you that way. Pardon my French. Right. Two, like how that conversation went shortly after that still told me you don't give a damn. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, the phone works both ways. You can always call me, but just know when you call me, I'm going to be holding her hand right here. Like, don't nobody give a rat's ass about the bitch that you're with. Like, at this point.
Right.
At the end of the day, if it was something said in private on a visit for you seeing all your other children, that was something you probably should have worked out in private. But again, I don't necessarily know what the next season can even remotely be about that would bring back that much viewership to save the show.
Yeah.
Half your kids could care less to be on camera. The few that may, pop up and do a cameo on camera, it's still not enough to hold weight to have people be like, oh, let me go back and run and go get my Discovery Plus or HBO Max back.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, they probably should just bow out gracefully. Again, if Mary's writing a book, I have no clue what that would be about. At this point, how honest is Mary really going to be? Because you haven't been honest about shit up until this point anyways.
Right. Yeah, and you have a history of, and this, fuck it. Yeah, Mary has a history of concealing the truth. So it seems disingenuous that all of a sudden you want to come out and you want to expose everything. And what I would be concerned about is that you're either going to come out with a tepid response to what happened, where you kind of leave a back door where you can always go back. So I don't want to piss anybody off. So I'm going to kind of tell a story, but then I'm going to retread that story and say that everybody got it wrong. Like, I hate that shit too. Like, if you're going to come out and accuse somebody of something, come out and say it. I said it with them accusing Mary. It's not just one way. When they were accusing Mary of being mistreating the kids.
Right.
My position has always been, if she's been mistreating the kids or mistreating y'all, come out and tell the damn story. Don't give us hints. Don't imply shit and then walk it back and say, oh, it might not have been that bad. If you're going to say that she did this terrible thing, then you have to back it up. And if you're not ready or prepared to do it, stop talking about it. You know what I mean? Because you're only making it worse. It's not making it better. If Mary has something to say about Cody or how she was treated in that relationship or how she feels about it, come out and talk about it. Instead of you sitting there saying, oh, well, you're going to have to read my book to find out about it. Then it's not about you coming out telling the truth. It's about you making book sales. And
it's still going to be contradictory to anything you've said on the show, because you're not going to bash Cody, let you tell it, and be a part of the ex-wives club, but you're not going to be silenced, but yet you're not saying anything. It's going to be a book like Christine's, if that's what it's giving.
Mm-hmm.
If she writes a book while she's still locked into a TLC contract for the Sister Wives show, it's going to be rubbish. It's going to be bullshit. It's going to be, we're going to get half truths, have this, have that. If she even goes to that extreme at all, like, let McKelty tell it, Christine's about to write a second book that's supposed to be more of a tell-all book than the first one was. I want y'all to stop.
Right.
I want y'all to stop.
Well, that and the fact that, let's be honest, I said this before, like when they first started doing the tell-all books. The time for the tell-all books was actually around season 17 and 18. Because now, if you come out with the tell-all books, there's going to be a point where anything you say in a tell-all book moving forward is all going to rely or hinge on the fact that you're making profit from that book as a major motivation as to why you wrote the book. Not to vindicate some kind of past evil or to avenge that or get some kind of judicial or justice for that past offense. It's also you can make $1. And so it lessens the depth and breadth of the damage that was done to you if you're only doing it because you're trying to make money off of it. Then in addition to that, there's also the point where people don't give a shit anymore. Like, you guys are not with Cody. So to go back years after you've left, like Christine, like, let's be honest, Christine has been married for about 4 years now.
Right.
3-4 years. So for you to go back and talk about 30 years ago when me and Cody started dating, there's going to be a point where people just going to look at it and be like, all right, lady, it's time to move on. you know, and I think that they're just kind of hitting that point. That's why
Yeah.
I think that's why people are stopping, you know, aren't really watching the show as much. Because especially after you spent most of the time while you were making that good money, then Cody was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Now all of a sudden the money's starting to slow down. Now Cody ain't shit. Which is it?
That part. Or even while you were lightly saying he wasn't shit, you weren't leaving. So, and you were still subjecting your children to the ain't shit father that they got. So at the end of the day, it's all been for profit.
Mm-hmm.
While the money was good, it was great. But now that it's not, you're trying to still pinch and penny, what is it, nickel and dime what you can out of what's left. But I just feel like it's probably time to let it go.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not even mad that you getting your coins. You know, do what you got to do, boo-boo. If that's how you making your paper, that's how you make your paper. But at the same time, I think that there's a certain level of integrity. If you're going to profit from your story, at least give people something worthy of their time. And is respectful of the people who are watching and supporting your situation. If you're not going to give them that, then what's the point? You know what I mean? This isn't a charity. This ain't the damn March of Dimes. That's not why I have a subscription and shit. You know what I mean? Like, so many other people who are worthy of my time and money and attention beyond people who are making millions of dollars to get up and tell stories from 20 years ago.
Right.
You know? Uh-oh. She must have hit a dead spot. But Caramel Cuties, ladies and gentlemen. We still have some room and a little bit of time left. If anybody wants to join. Again, like some of the stuff that I wanted to cover. Oh, just to get into a little bit of the Mitzi Roberts case. Part of the reason, like I said, part of the reason why I wanted to bring these issues up is because I think there's you know, as we talk about the coverage of how, wait, hold on 1 second. The coverage of how these issues are talked about and how they're addressed, I think it becomes so extreme. I recognize to answer, you know what, I'll go through and I'll give my perspective and then I guess we can close out. But the first topic, what has the show Sister Wives taught us? From my perspective, I think that Sister Wives, maybe not from the letter of the grand discussion, I don't think that the show itself has ever really contributed anything substantive to the idea of polygamy and whether we can live it or not. I do recognize the importance of shows like this, especially after talking to and interacting with members of the channel and subscribers who have said that the show has been, in a lot of ways, very healing from the respect of they were in bad situations prior, maybe growing up in difficult relationships with their parents, or you know, they've undergone certain abuses with folks, and the show, in seeing that, like that doorway, gave them an opportunity to release and recognize a lot of those has the most like effect on everything. Like it gives them a sense of, okay, this is not something that just happened to me. This is something that occurs in other people's situations. So it gives them a pathway or doorway to express or maybe to help heal from some of the things. And the sad part is that I think that that is a tremendous service that Sister Wives provided. However, I don't think it was intentional on behalf of TLC and or the Brown family. I don't think that any of them looked at it and said, you know what, we could help some people by coming out with our story and sharing our story. We have the opportunity to be able to help people get through these tough times. That's also one of the things that I really enjoy about talking with subscribers and people who listen to the channel and members of the channel, is that for the most part, especially on Saturday, we have people who are very forthright with some of their experiences, life experiences and things that they've gone through. And it takes a tremendous amount of courage to share previous experiences like that. And especially the reason why they're doing it isn't just because they're selfishly saying, hey, me talking about this helps me to heal, but in no small part do they do it. And this is where I'm gonna fuck it. I'm gonna say what I want to say. This is where I think that so many people who I interact with on this platform are so much better than the people we watch on the show. Because the people who do it from the show's perspective, from what I see, they do it because they get a paycheck to do it. They do it because they want to run self-help groups. They do it because they want, at the end of the day, they trying to make their stories, they're trying to monetize their stories. There's so many people who call into the show, who speak on Saturday and share their stories. I don't know how nobody's name out. I don't put nobody on Front Street, but I'm thinking of people like right off the top who come in and are very brutally honest about things that have happened to them in the past. And I think that part of the reason why they do that is because they want to help somebody else. They're not doing it just to make sense of their situation for themselves, but they're doing it as a selfless act to try to improve somebody else's situation. And for me, I don't think that there's any higher calling than that. For you to be able to come out and say, the reason why I'm going to talk about this trauma or this experience is because I want to try to make sure that the next person is aware that this is what's going on, that the next person can maybe see and stop this situation if they see things starting to head in that direction with their family, their friends, their little ones, their loved ones, people who they're supposed to be in charge of protecting. That's why I'm doing it. And not only that, but I also want to extend an olive branch to let people who have going through similar things that they're not alone. And I respect the fact that so many people have been so forthright, so honest, and so open about their experiences coming on the show and having those conversations. The weird thing is that I see every Sunday during the Sister Wives seasons, I saw people pretend to do that. And I recognize the difference when I see people pretending to do it on TLC and I actually see people do it on Saturday, on Tuesday, on Thursday. And so I recognize that. So when I say, what has the show Sister Wives taught us? I think that TLC and as well as the entire Brown cast, the entire cast of the show, owes it to themselves and owes it to their audience to try to go a little deeper in what they're trying to contribute and what they're trying to present to the audience. Or basically, again, the hell with it, be half as brave as the people who watch you and support you on your show. That's my first thought. Like, so what has the Sister Wives thing taught us? That was the first topic. The new direction of My Take on Reality. I understand that there's been folks who've been looking forward to us transitioning away from the Brown family discussion. I get it. But again, I think that there is a point where it has to, like, the transition has to make sense, as well as I have to be able to try to put it in a position where it has the best opportunity to reach as many people as possible. And when I say, because it's not just about, oh, I'm trying to make the channel huge and successful. What I want to do is, if there's positive things that are happening on the channel, people are making those sacrifices to try to tell their stories or get their perspectives out, and they're showing that courage to share it. I think that so many people's stories, not just things that I say or my perspective, I think so many people who contribute on the show, whether it's call-ins or whatever the case may be, their stories are so valuable that they deserve to be shared. Like, if I could sit here Sunday after Sunday, week after week, and talk about the Brown family and the ins and outs of what their relationship is, and these are all issues that occurred 15, 20 years ago, and it doesn't even affect them or impact them now, but we're talking about it like it just happened yesterday, and you have people who have actual trauma or actual issues, things that important topics and things that we could be discussing. I think they deserve to have as much shine and as much light shined on their issues as possible. So that's kind of where I'm taking the whole new direction of my take. With the third, and then we have another caller. But the third, the story of Mitzi Roberts, the Louisiana mayor who is convicted of inappropriate relations with her son's friend. again, part of the reason why I wanted to discuss it is because in the show, like I wanted to bring up a case that maybe not a lot of people have heard about, that I think should be like, this should be on the front of everybody's lips. Like, people should be like, what the shit? Like I said, Mitzi Roberts was the first woman elected to mayor of this particular town, only to go out like she went out. Okay. And as much as everybody wants to profess that they care about these topics and these issues, especially as we talk about them, like I said, people share their traumas. I think that we do a disservice because we allow some of these issues to be swept under the rug, not discussed, no highlight put on it. And it only benefits the people who are doing the wrongdoing. Now, when we talk about, like, for instance, going back to one, we talk about the show Sister Wives and its effects. I think the people who benefit most from Sister Wives not being put out there or talked about are polygamous people who are taking advantage of the system. The people who benefit the most from Sister Wives being on air are people who are taking advantage of people and abusing people within the polygamous institutions. I think people like this woman, Mitzi Roberts, who, by the way, was convicted after the jury left. It took them an hour to convict her, which is crazy. It's crazy. They didn't even get lunch. Went back there and they have to vote they have to let everybody get settled. They have to vote who's going to be the jury foreperson and all that. And they were able to do all that shit even before they talked about bringing menus up and giving them something to eat. They were able to convict this woman because there was so much evidence. And the sad part to me is, if we don't talk about these particular issues, because there's a time that this would have been national news. And if we don't talk about these things, then what's going to happen is, in these small towns, in these small places, when people do shit like this, they're going to get 6 months probation at home. That's what's going to happen because we're not paying attention. So I wanted to, like, at least once a week, I'm going to try to once, twice a week, maybe during some of the shows, I want to try to highlight some cases that are kind of getting swept under the rug that I think need more attention, that we should be talking about, maybe, brought to people's attention. There was a case not long ago where you had a young man who basically attacked and took advantage of a young lady by a dumpster next to a bar. She went outside, passed out. He crawled on top of her. Brock Allen Turner. And his case, they tried to eventually wound up giving him probation. They put him in jail for like 6 months. After he was in jail for 6 months, the judge came back and said, well, he's a young man. He's got his whole life ahead of him. He made a mistake. We're going to let him out of jail. What? And the only reason why that became a big deal is because people were talking about it. But it's on us to make sure that we're staying up on some of these issues. Because, like I said, talking about the Browns is cool, but we got to make sure that we holding people accountable, And so at least once a week or twice a week, I'm gonna try to find these types of stories to be able to have these kind of conversations. It's not so much that I don't even want to be in a position where I'm trying to bash people or find people who are terrible, horrible human beings, but just talking about, like, the condition of where we are. Oh, wow. Capricorn, Brock Turner lives behind my kid's dance studio in Dayton, Ohio. He should not be. Why is this cat not registered? That is crazy. That is crazy. He should not be nowhere near. Like, this dude shouldn't be around human beings, let alone children. What? But those are the kind of cases that I want to kind of talk about or highlight, because again, we get so wrapped up in the sensationalism of, like I said, the Epstein stuff and what implications it has for, like, the royals and the presidency and blah blah blah, that it's easy to overlook the fact that there are people, and there have been people who have been doing this kind of thing, who are not presidents, who are not princes, who are not business CEOs, and their bad misdeeds are being widely ignored because they don't fit into the small little diorama of descriptions that we have for these particular individuals, and deciding that it's not worthy of talking about because it doesn't implicate a president or a prince or a CEO or somebody who's powerful. But there's power in the fact that you have a mayor who's doing it. And that's an abuse of power. That's an abuse of trust. That's abuse of public trust. I mean, all kinds of stuff. She abused one of her kids' friends. She's familiar enough with the child's parents. With the parent had called her up and basically asked her to make sure that if there is a pregnancy, the pregnancy didn't take. So she called for Plan B. Lazy ass didn't even go to the damn pharmacy herself. She had it DoorDash to her house. So, I think those are the kind of things we want to talk about. But I'll get to the last caller. And in a second, we had Terry Crump, a member for 2 months. What's up, Terry? Maybe we can cover the Royals right now with Andrew, Fergie, and Harry and Meghan. Yeah, well, I'll take a look at it. I don't know. And in fairness to the Royals, I never really followed them. I'm loosely aware of some of the issues and problems that they have. But after they kind of did Diana dirty, this is way, way back. After the way they did Diana, Princess Diana, I wasn't really interested in a lot of the stuff that they had going on. Because, yeah, I mean, conspiracy theory, and this is me speaking out of ignorance, it sounds kind of shaky that all of a sudden this woman turned up the way she did. And, I don't want to speak too much out of ignorance, but it kind of turned me off of the whole thing of the majesty of the royals, pun intended, because I was like, oh, these people. But thank you so much, Terry. Then we had Terry Crump again with the $1.99 super chat. Said, James, would you cover the Royals? Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'll take a look. If you have something to say, you can always call in for SpeakPipe. SpeakPipe.com/MyTakeOnReality isn't just for sister wives. It's for whatever you want to talk about. So if you have something you want to talk about, leave a message there and I'll address it. All right. Yeah. So we're going to take the power back. But thank you so much. Appreciate you, Terry. Then we have Jody Periscala with the $9.99 super chat. I am sorry. I have been too vocal about content. My mother-in-law has been my support system for my family dysfunction. She is dying. I know how to deal. I don't know how to deal. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your mother-in-law. Jody, I am not I am not a shrinking violet. If you have something to say, I can handle it. I'm not offended. I'm not offended at all. It is what it is. But yeah, that's a rough piece. And I understand, it's a hard thing when people who are integral to your mental health are going through things and you start to realize that they, there's a point where when people pass, we all like to think that we are upset about that person passing because of the loss of that person and all the things that person is going to miss. But a large part of why you're upset is because of the influence, involvement, and the impact that those people have on your life and how you're going to miss those interactions, that support system, the benefit of having that person around. And I think that it's not a selfish thing for you to feel that way. I think that it's human. It's part of the human condition. So I totally understand that. And like I said, no need to apologize. Nothing to apologize for. But thank you so much, Jody Periscala. Yeah, I'm not one of those people to get offended by you having an opinion. I don't get mad about people's opinions. Miss Monica, the empty nester, the new empty nester. Have you ever thought about covering 1,000-pound sisters? I have, but I'm a little hesitant. Once burned, twice shy. I'm a little hesitant about leaning into another reality show. Like if there's issues or whatever that occur during 1,000-pound sisters that I might cover. Like I think it might be interesting to talk about certain things that they kind of have going on, topics or issues, but I don't know about doing a weekly, like episode to episode reaction to the 1,000-pound sisters. They certainly have a lot going on. They have a lot going on. And part of what kind of burned me out, like if I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck, part of what burned me out with TLC is the simple fact that so much of their content now is so heavily produced and heavily put together that it actually becomes so much of it becomes fake. And it's not even like fake, like, oh, it's fiction. So what, James? It's like ridiculous fiction. Like ridiculous fiction, for those, so that I could pull it back into something that everybody would understand. Ridiculous fiction would be the Brown family having a reunion next season. Like they're all going to get together and go on a vacation or some shit together because they're trying to talk and work it out as a family. That makes no sense. Especially if you were used and abused and mistreated this whole time. Now all of a sudden you're going to get back with Cody and Robin and you guys are going to go on a vacation together. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not natural. It's not a natural confluence of situations. And clearly it's just heavily produced because it's on a TV show. You're trying to come up with a storyline. So that's why I'm a little hesitant about jumping into. And TLC is just such a bad actor when it comes to a lot of that stuff that I'm a little hesitant about leaning into a lot of their shows. Because I've always taken a position, or at least recently I've taken a position that TLC isn't trying to make shows as much as they're trying to make reality stars. Yeah, if you know, you know. They're not interested in making shows. They're interested in making reality stars. And so because of that fact, I'm a little hesitant about leaning into another reality show. But like I said, if there's something you want to talk about, an issue, I do watch this show. If you want to leave a speak pipe, by all means, do that. We can talk about it. It's not just for Sister Wives. But thank you so much. All right. And let's see. We've got Negla in the house. What's going on, Negla? How you doing?
Hey, James. And hi, my take family. I know I have been so MIA.
Okay, you both.
I know. Well, I have a disorder called thalassemia, where my body doesn't produce iron, and I usually get iron infusions, but insurance stopped paying for them. So it's kind of like, I take the liquid iron Mama Betty, suggested for me and all that, but it just does not, you know what I mean? The infusions are the only thing. So anyway, and I need to get, anyway, just a lot going on, but I just wanted to pop in, say hello. I love everybody. I'm going to drop 2 memberships. Don't hop off. Like once I hop off, don't hop off, because I want to drop 2 memberships and a super chat. But I'm trying to start my computer up. It's old as Methuselah, and it's taken forever. But I did catch the tail end of what you were talking about, and what I would love to see is, because I always encourage people to get a membership, subscribe to, of course you don't have to subscribe, being a My Take member is absolutely free, but to subscribe you can join our Saturday roundtables, and during our roundtables we talk about so much. And like, if maybe 1 or 2 of your shows, like during the week, or 1 of your shows during the week, maybe take a topic that we kind of veer off into. Like, I mean, we talked about the unalive penalty. We talked about living in different countries, you know, the US versus Canada. We've talked about, you know, this, that, or the other, and, you know, just maybe pick a topic from a Saturday roundtable and then kind of turn that into, hey, this week, or, you know, today we're going to talk about, you know, the unalive penalty, or we're going to talk about the XYZ case, or, you know, something like that. Just as, you know, a suggestion. That way you're not tied to, first of all, you're not tied to a show, but second of all, you're not tied to specific, you know, content about, okay, well, they canceled the show, so you know, you get what I'm saying? Because I love our My Take family. When I tell y'all, you know, we are, you know, a My Take family, we ride hard. So, oops, hold on, sorry, my computer, of course, just now popped on. But I don't know, just a thought.
No, it's a good suggestion. Good suggestion.
Yeah, and then that way others will have, you know what I mean, have a chance to weigh. People who aren't members will have a chance to weigh in and give input, if that makes sense. So, you know, just, you know, thinking outside the box. But either way, I love you guys, and
well, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. Glad to hear you're at least you know, fighting back, as it were.
Yeah.
But I dig you. Like some of the changes with insurances and things of that nature has been nuts. So,
well,
know, recently.
It's horrible. My husband has Medicare and Medicaid supplement because he's disabled, and literally one whole hospital said, well, his insurance dropped him, and then one hospital, so he had to choose another plan. And in the state of Ohio, there's only certain plans, or blah, blah, blah. But then the one hospital he's linked to, like literally his specialist, he has a rare disorder called FAP, which is, he develops polyps, and he basically has no digestive system. Like he has, you know, he can digest food, but he, you know, he has ostomy and all of that stuff. So there's like nothing below the waist, like, you know, as far as digestive system. And he's like, he got one of the best specialists in, you know, in the world. Like literally, he's a really, really good specialist. Well, the hospital he's affiliated with, which is Ohio State University, stopped accepting the new insurance that he had to switch to. So now he's SOL, you know?
All right.
So it's irritating, and it's frustrating to be at the mercy of, you know, people who really don't give a fuck about, you know, quality of life, continuity of care, or anything like that. It's just irritating. But yeah. So anyway, that's among the other things I've been dealing with. So
no,
yeah.
I feel you. It's rough navigating the like the world of insurance, healthy world of insurance.
Yeah.
You know, and the truth of the matter is that when it comes to a lot of the things with insurance, or even really any social change or political change or legal change, is that there is a lulling period where you believe that because things have been away for so long, that they've always been that way and they will always continue to be that way, only to discover that when changes are made, it very well may affect you more deeply than you thought. You know.
Well, the thing is, because he had Aetna for, oh my goodness, since before we were married, he had Aetna, and they have a dual plan where he can also get in-home care services, locally. And he has a nurse aide, a nurse that comes out and, you know, checks, because he's diabetic as well. And so Aetna stopped accepting Medicaid. He has Medicare, but he also has Medicaid to cover the, because it's a premium. It's like $193 a month that we would normally have to pay for the Medicare. So he has both, but Aetna stopped accepting the Medicaid. So we switched to CareSource because we were told that his doctor was in network. His doctor would accept accept CareSource and all this, that, and the other. And then the whole hospital stopped, as of January 1st, stopped accepting CareSource. So like I said, and this is a specialist. I mean, it's not like, you can get another primary care physician. I don't care if he delivered your mother. You know what I mean? You can get another, PCP, or even a gynecologist if you don't have any, significant issues or whatever. But I mean, I'm talking about, this is like literally one of like 5 specialists that have seen, have actually seen his case, because it came from his mother. And normally he should get this from his father. So it's a very rare case. It's only like, I don't know, like 96 people, that have been studied. And it's I don't know. It's it's frustrating and it's irritating. And it's sad when you're at the mercy of, of those changes. I ostensibly could through my job covering, but then you got co-pays and all that stuff, and it's not affordable. We don't have it. We don't have it. So
Right.
But yeah, it's and on top of that, like I said, my insurance will not pay for my, my iron infusions are $150, and that's every 6 weeks. So, so I just stopped getting iron infusions because I can't, I can't afford it. He's got an insulin pump. We got to pay. It's just all kind of, that's the dinging you just heard. That's what made me think about that. It's a whole lot. And that in itself could be a whole show, about talking about healthcare system in America versus, that was a members only topic, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we've discussed that. So, just throwing that out there, maybe you could, call in show. We're talking about, healthcare system in the, in the US, or we're talking, call in show. We're talking about, I don't know, the woman who said that somebody lives behind her or something. That guy lives behind her. Or behind her son's dance studio or something like that. I think she said just now. Yeah.
The Brock Turner.
Yeah, the Brock Turner. Yeah. Calling show about, how do you feel about, those people living in your, people like that living in your area and so close to your, children's activities and things. Just a thought. So,
no, I appreciate it.
Yep. My computer is not cooperating. So once I jump off here, I'm going to drop 2 memberships in the super chat. All right, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your support, Negla. I appreciate your suggestions and your input.
All right.
Whether you're, like I said, you might not be winning, but at least you're fighting.
Hey, you know what? That's all you could. You know what? Hold on. You're born, you pay taxes, and you die. There's only 3 certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm only here to pay taxes.
Right, exactly. Right. You working. What is it? Like tax-free day is not till like April or May, something like that now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother, that's a show. Anyway, all right, my friend, you take care. I'm going to try to make the call in on Saturday, because I really do miss, my husband calls y'all my gaggle of people. Like, okay, if you say so. It's my therapy.
There you go.
So, all right, dear. Take care. Have a blessed one. Everybody have a blessed one.
Have a good
all
one.
Right. Bye-bye.
All right. Negla 3 in the house. In the house. Linda had to leave. But yeah, yeah. I mean, we could talk about, again, if you guys have any issues, topics, or things of that nature that you'd like to discuss, by all means, take advantage of the speak pipe, take advantage of the call-ins, take advantage of the chat box, take advantage of the email, MyTakeOnRealityQuestions@gmail.com. and maybe we could roll some different content out, because again, like I want to make content that resonates with people, things that people want to hear about. And at the same time, like I said, I think that there's such a big push for everything to be kind of pushed or forced into echo chambers, to where we discuss and talk about things in acceptable manners, as presented or framed by people who might not necessarily be looking forward to, may not be looking forward to having the deeper conversations. Because like I said, the scary part to me is, like I said, when we talk about the Epstein stuff, isn't the fact that rich people are doing things that are nefarious and wealthy people and powerful people are getting away with stuff. What bothers me is that everybody's pretending like it only works in this small universe of people. Like, these are the only victims that we're concerned about, but we're not worried about other people who are in similar or like situations. Like, we'll talk about the Browns all day and how the Browns have been affected, how their kids have been affected by basically being ignored. Like, if you look at and I'm not trying to diminish the level of abuse of a parent neglecting their child, but if you look at in the grand scheme of things, the worst thing Cody ever did to his kids was not pay attention to them. Right? But there are people who are in polygamous families whose parents are doing far worse to their kids, but we never talk about it because we only view polygamy or discuss polygamy through the lens of the Sister Wives television show. And because we don't see a situation where Cody is just outright taking advantage of his kids. He might be neglecting them. He might be hurting their feelings. But because he's not doing the other stuff, we never make the connection between polygamy and these other crimes, which, if we're talking about, like, especially we start to get into legalizing polygamy, if you look at, like I was saying earlier about Janelle, when she's like, they need to legalize polygamy. And you say, well, why should they legalize polygamy based on what we know from the show? Based on what we know from the show, legalizing polygamy really wouldn't be that bad or difficult. It might even make more sense to legalize polygamy, because the only reason why, I won't say the only reason why, but a big healthy majority of the reason why these women were taken advantage of is because, like it or not, they put themselves in a situation where they could be taken advantage of. Whatever excuse you give them as to why this happened or why they made the choices they made, it's the way they were brought up, the culture they were brought into, the religion that they had, whatever those excuses are, they were adults and they made choices and decisions. Because the same way Cody could look them in the face in this last season and say, you know what, I don't have to give Mary shit because legally I don't have to. I have no responsibility to her. He's not wrong. That's what makes the fact that he said it and he's aware of it so appalling, is that legally he wasn't wrong. And the reason why he got to make that decision is because previously they made the decision to allow him to take their money and then purchase land and put it in his name. And a lot of that could have been resolved had these women stood up and said, you know what, if you're going to take my money and buy land, my name better appear on that deed. If you're going to take my money and from the family fund that we're supposed to be using to improve the family or put us in a better financial situation and for investment or business opportunities, you're going to take that money and buy yourself a car or a house or your wife dolls or clothes or whatever the hell, you need to, one, put that money back, and two, stop misappropriating those funds, or I'm calling the police. You understand what I mean? Like, these are not simple fixes, but these are things that could have been done, that if you legalize polygamy, if it was just from this small universe of things or descriptions, then the women would actually have more power in this situation and they would be able to make better decisions if they could, and things would make more sense. But if you really start digging into the actual practices of polygamous cultures, then you start to realize that it's far more nefarious. And the women don't have the level of protections to be able to just simply say, no, you take my money, you put my name on a deed. And that's where you start to get into it. That's where you start to hear the truth. So that's kind of where I'm in. At least that's where my thinking was. Just make sure. Oh, Carmel Cuties with a $10 super chat said, I'm feeling a way about Unexpected with the couples this season. I'm a little worried. Bryce fam is crazy, and a 13-year-old having a baby is wild for sure. I'm definitely tuned in for sure. Yeah, I had discontinued my Discovery Plus a little while ago because I had another streaming network I was paying a shit ton of money for. I might go back to Discovery Plus because I was interested in seeing Unexpected stuff. But even that, like, it started to kind of wear on me just because I felt like, again, TLC wasn't making like they weren't making reality shows as much as they were making reality stars. And even with Unexpected, you had people who have been on that show since they were 14, 15 years old, and now they're in their mid-20s, still doing the show, more kids, more problems. And I think that with the involvement of the show, it's only encouraging and reinforcing bad behavior and bad decisions in some of these ladies and some of these young men. So that was the only thing that kind of bothered me with Unexpected. But yeah, anytime you have somebody who's 13, it bothers me because this isn't the first time they've had somebody who was on the show that young. And when you have people on the show that are that young, even at 15, 16, at 16, 17, I'll be honest, sometimes the parents in these situations, it's what the shit. Like, they're sitting there telling these young people that they have to get married, and how you're questioning whether a 13 or 14-year-old is ready to commit the rest of their life to your daughter, or you know what I mean, because they're having a child together. Now all of a sudden everybody got to give their life up and their hopes and their dreams because somebody's pregnant. Like, that's just not like that. Whether it's not there, yes, they're having a baby together, yes, everybody has responsibilities, but no, the young man who impregnated the person, they don't have the responsibility. They have the responsibility of taking care of that child. They do not have the responsibility of trying to make the mother, no matter how young, feel like a wife. That's beyond the pale, right? Those are two separate things. If they decide they want to have a relationship together, that's one thing. And they want to move forward together, that's one thing. But there's no, that having babies don't make you a parent. Having babies make you a parent, don't make you a husband or wife. Having babies don't make your relationship work because you had babies. If anything, it's quicker to destroy your relationship. And I don't really support the idea that because one decision was made, and let's be honest, you made one bad choice, it doesn't improve that bad choice by compounding it with additional bad choices. Trying to force people who don't want to be together because it makes you feel better that they have a united front, a united household, is not good for the young parents, and it's certainly not good for the children. So that was one of the things that used to annoy me heavily on Unexpected. Like, somebody get pregnant. Well, you got to be with my daughter now because she's pregnant. Like, this is not shotgun wedding shit. Like, everybody going to have to figure it out. Now, if they want to be together, let them be together. But, like, there was one young man, he said he didn't have any opportunities to go to college, so he wanted to go into the Air Force, which would have all but guaranteed at least some financial support for the mother. But she didn't want him to go to Air Force because she was afraid that if he left and he started experiencing life, he might not want to come back. How does that help the child? That makes you feel good about you. So, I don't know. Just some things. But thank you so much, Karma Cuties. Yes, yeah, that's where I'm at, Terry. Shotgun weddings don't work. Hell no. Hell no. Just creates misery. Just creates misery in the long run. But I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. Truth to oneself. The parents are as stupid as the children. A lot of times you can see even in the parents, they're just doing it to be on the show. Like I've seen like on that show, there was especially during the COVID time, there was a young man. He was all excited about being the guy that wanted to go in the Air Force, in fact. He was all excited about trying to be in the room to watch his son get born. And her mom kicked him out of the hospital. Like he wasn't even allowed to watch his child be born. And then the ironic part is that when he was talking about going into the Air Force, everybody's trying to tell him like, oh, is how important it was and prescient that he be around for his child and he can't go too far and lead a mom and he has responsibilities. But you didn't give a shit about his responsibilities when the child was being born. You stepped all over his rights and his ability as a parent, as a father who's trying to be a part of his child life. You were telling him that he wasn't important then, but then you try to fit him in and get him in when it's comfortable and convenient for you. That's one of the things I disagree with on some of these shows too. Like that and the fact that a lot of times you'll have people who are like severely underage, 13, 14 years old, pregnant, and they have the parents trying to get the kids to stay together and sleep together, basically live together. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen when the baby drop and you keep pushing them into the same room and telling them that they basically are together and it's the same as being married and all? That's how you go from one child to two children. Just saying. Like I look, you know, like y'all already broke the rules in my house by showing up in this condition. What's not going to happen is you're not going to break the rules and I punish you for breaking the rules by allowing you to continue breaking the rules of the house. That's stupid. Like now that we know that it could happen, let's just keep breaking the rules. Because what could go wrong? I mean, once they have kids together, they definitely going to be together for the rest of their life. Dumb as hell. So not a fan of that part. See, yeah, I remember that couple. He did leave, and the mom was trying to party a lot. They broke up at My Take on Reality. Oh, okay. Yeah. I and that's the thing too, is that you can't dictate when these kids are, because they're still kids. And hell, like let's be honest, some of them ain't even, even when it's not a kid thing. Some people just aren't ready to be parents when you force them into parenthood. And having children, you like to think would force you to mature and become the person you need to be in order to deal with your kids the best way possible. That's not always the case. Because there are cases where I know of cases where, women have had kids go to the bar. They don't stop going to the bar. They take their kids with them to the bar, put the damn baby up on the bar in a car seat, ordering drinks because they don't want to miss ladies' night. Like shit. Being a parent don't make you a good parent. Just saying. Just saying. Carl Q said, yeah, okay. Hey, hold on. Caddy said, I was listening while driving home from work. My GPS messed up and was trying to take me back to work. Oh, you rat bastard. I remember like back in the day, I had like the first couple, like you had to get the GPS, like the whole separate device. I had one that was called a TomTom. I remember I was crossing into New York and that damn thing tried to tell me to make a right turn off the bridge. I was in the middle of the bridge. Like, make your right. Make your right. You're missing your turn. Make the next left. Like, why are you trying to kill me, TomTom? I was like, it's the machine uprising. Terminator. Time edition. Yeah. What's this? I know a woman with 4 kids. Did she get to be babysitters and party till like 5 a.m.? Yeah. Having the same way having kids don't make every man a father, having kids don't make every woman a mother. Because there's a lot of ain't jack moms out there too. You know. So, and sometimes I feel like we're watching that, especially on Unexpected. You know, there was one young lady, she was like so demanding and, oh, you gonna let my boyfriend move in? Then it was all about that boy until the fact they broke up. Then all of a sudden, you know, she didn't want to bring the baby back to the same state to see the damn daddy. Like, it's that weird part. Like, you want them so involved because it's convenient for you. And the second it stops being convenient for you, all of a sudden, dads don't need to see their kids anymore. You know, I guess with some of these reality shows, what's missing is the CTJM, like the come to Jesus moment, like the moment where we just have like people say what it is. Like you don't get to, like, even with the Browns, that's what I think is missing with that. Like you just do evil shit and then it never gets resolved, never gets addressed. Like some of these people, you know, some of these parents, they need to be in a room. Like you know what I want to see on Unexpected? TLC show idea, hot off the presses. What I want to see is TLC. I don't necessarily want to talk to the kids who are the parents. What I want to talk to are the parents. Because I have more problems with the parents of some of these young people than I do with the kids. Because kids going to be kids. Like these kids sometimes range from the age of like 13, 14 years old, all the way up to like 16, maybe 17 on the outside. But the parents have set a lot of the environment where this is possible, where this is continuing, and where it's going to be problematic moving forward. And I would love to address the parents. Like just I want to talk to the parents. I want to talk to the kids. I want to talk to the parents. Like you got to straighten your shit up because like these kids are looking to you for solutions and y'all coming up with some dumbass advice. Like you are setting them up. Like to have one child, like children are a blessing, but having kids is hard. And anybody who tell you having babies and dealing with children is easy, they either full of shit or they're independently wealthy and they have nannies and stuff and they're not doing it. Or 3, they're not doing it. Which, you know, maybe I should make that number 1. 1, they're not doing it. 2, they're independently wealthy, so they're able to do it. Or 3, you know, they got somebody else doing it and they faking the funk. But raising kids is hard. And even beyond the money, the stress and all that goes into raising kids is hard. And especially when you don't feel like you have a whole lot of life experience at 13, 14 years old. What do you know about? You went from cheerleading on a team, like your biggest concern was, you know, not getting a zit before the game on Saturday, to all of a sudden you're responsible for another human being. Like, what are we talking about? And then you set them up so that way they have 2 or 3 more human beings before they graduate high school. And what do you think they're going to do even once they graduate high school, if they're able to get through high school? What do you think they're going to do after that? Because now they have responsibilities. Now it's not just a matter of them going out trying to figure out who they are and what they want to be and what they want to do. Now all of a sudden they got people to take care of. They got people. And that's part of the problem. But I think I've prattled on long enough. I've prattled on long enough. I want to thank everybody who called into the show. But as usual, I wanted to get some hearts in the chat. This is a particular segment that we use in order to support people who are members, subscribers, or people who view the channel who might be going through some difficult times or just need that extra little bit of support. Let's put some hearts in the chat for those individuals. Sometimes they don't let us necessarily know that they have problems, or issues or concerns. So I just want to support them in general. Secondly, we have specific people. If you want to get a shout out, just send me an email or whatever. You can do that. You don't necessarily have to tell me your problems or your issues. You just want to get a shout out. You want people to send you up some prayers or thoughts or whatever. Just send me your name, and I'll gladly include you. But we have Jody Periscala, Carmel Cuties, Megatron, Miss Betty, Kathy Ferran, Allison Gaines, Marlo Peterson, and team. And I want to include Negla 3 because, just talking to her in that conversation, just think she need to be included because why not? So let's get some hearts in the chat for those individuals. And then Carmel Cuties actually brought up a really good point. The last time I spoke to her, I think it was on Sunday or maybe even Saturday. We have to be very careful about supporting the people who support us. And, I always said that, like, take care of your kickstand. Nobody ever think about the people who supporting them until they not there or it's not working like it should. And you realize, like, oh, shit, I was putting all the weight on that person. And now they not there or they're going through their own thing. Check on those strong people in your life. The one thing that I will say about people who are usually the ones who come in and help you, advise you or support you or there to hold your hand, give you hugs, without fail, those strong individuals that you rely on, those strong individuals a lot of times will find themselves in situations when they go through tough things. The one consummate thing I've found with individuals like that is that they very rarely complain. They very rarely talk about like all the shit they're going through because they see it as like, I'm complaining and I don't want to put my problems on somebody else. I don't want to weigh them down. They're going through their own thing. I don't want to burden them with my problems. Right. And so they miss a lot of opportunity to get the support that they need because they don't want to trouble you with it. And the ironic part is that when they are going through tough times, and maybe even we as people who benefit from their support see that there's something wrong, how many times have we ever stopped to ask them, hey, man, what's going on? Hey, girl, you okay? Hey, you look like you're going through some stuff. You need to talk? You understand what I mean? We just blow past it and just pretend like everything is cool and there ain't no problems. And, they just having an off day. They'll be back. Hey, by the way, did I tell you about my problems? So just take time to support those individuals. The last thing I want to say, I got to shout out some people who supported the channel with Super Chat. But something I talked to my daughter about, and I wanted to share with the group. Actually, I might get some. We're going to have some T-shirts rolling out. We're going to have some merch rolling out soon. But one of the things that I wanted to include was a conversation I had with my daughter. She was having an issue with some folks who got a little, got a job or whatever. And she was having an issue. And one of the things that I shared with her is that, when it comes to certain things or things that you're doing or jobs or whatever the case may be, clubs, activities, so on and so forth, you're going to find yourself in a situation where, you might be targeted or somebody's trying to do something to you and you have to stand up for yourself. Right. And if you find yourself in an environment, a situation where you're dealing with people who don't allow you to stand up for yourself, sometimes you got to take a step back and realize that the room you're in may be too small. If I can't stand up for me, then this room might be too small. And I might need to find a place with a little more room, particularly a little more headroom, so that I have the ability to stand up for myself. Because if you're cutting me off from the ability for me to be able to stand up for myself, then you're not allowing me to be me. You're not encouraging me to grow. If anything, you're trying to shrink me down and kill my life. So if you're in a place where you can't stand up, you might need to find a place where you got a little more headroom. Just want to drop that in there. But and that very well may appear on a T-shirt coming up soon. So be ready. I wanted to give a big shout out to Jody Periscala, Lit Mom, Terry Crumpf, helping us out. Miss Monica, the new empty nester. And of course, Carmel Cuties, OG, triple OG from the Mega Mod Squad. Appreciate you, Carmel Cuties. I saw Brittany Not Brittany in here earlier. Lizzie B, she's on vacation, but I want to give a shout out to the Mega Mod Squad as well as the folks who kicked in. Appreciate you. Everybody keeping chill in the chat. Appreciate you. Let me give you all a little something. All right. That's what I had, guys. That's what I had. We'll be moving forward doing things like this more consistently, probably more consistently that we're talking about the Browns, especially depending on what they have coming up in their upcoming season. If they don't have a lot going on, then I'm not forcing anything, especially as far as they're concerned. Like if you want to sell your show, you got to sell your show. Come up with something worthwhile for us to talk about. If you don't, then oh well. I'm good with leaving you alone. But ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. I'm James, and this has been My Take on Reality. And before I'm out, I wanted to remind folks that if you guys have any issues or concerns or topics that you wanted to talk about, take full advantage because we will be back on Thursday to do the Speak Pipe. That's speakpipe.com/MyTakeOnReality. Leave your messages. It's not just for the Brown family stuff. So if you want to talk about anything else, leave a message and we can talk about it. All right. I'm out.